is Zurich Airport calling for Racing Unleashed Season 2023 Beyond the Pinnacle. Today we are racing right down here at the Zurich Airport Circuit, our own racetrack and home turf of Racing Unleashed. Ladies and gentlemen, start your simulators. Get ready for racing.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it is green and go. It's a good start from Rock already. They make contact. Absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission at the moment. Right into the gravel. To what's happened up front? Oh, it's chaos. Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.
And welcome to Racing Unleashed, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for Challenge 5 of the Challenger League. That's right, it is the halfway stage of the season and race 5. And as you look out the window there just behind me, we are right above the racetrack today. It is right happening underneath us as we are in the Zurich Airport Tower here at the Zurich International Airport. We are racing around the Zurich Airport circuit. What are we racing in? Well, we're racing in this absolute machine next to us here, the RU23. That is being absolutely designed, and it looks flawless. It looks absolutely beautiful, pitch perfect everywhere you look. And this is the animal that is going to be taking them around this airport circuit today. Like I say, literally out of our window, happening around us. All flights have been cancelled and grounded as we are taking to the circuit here at Racing Unleashed. We are taking over our home circuit, custom built for Racing Unleashed this season. And last season as well, we saw fantastic action around there. And it brought great racing for our home track. Obviously, no race circuits in Switzerland, so it's very honourable to have our own circuit right beneath our feet here in the tower that we stand upon in our virtual studio for all you ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls that are all watching the show. At the moment, we've got a fantastic show in store. We bring you Rush Hour once again in the middle of the programme. Myself and Fabio Vettiger will be bringing you the brilliant Rush Hour series that we do in the middle of the programme. But let's take a look at the results then of the Challenger League from Imola. And it was Marcus Valverde who took his first race win of the season. And it's becoming a real good championship fight between him, Yannick Pletcher and Nico Forland. Augustin Torlacci is in the mix as well. And he got a P4 at Imola with Borges Arzo, Adrian Gomez, Thomas Herzog, Mario Stanek, Gianluca Palmisano and Walter Troninger rounding out the top 10. The bottom 10 then was Roberto Miguez, Tyler Klaus, Rock Mertzel, Mohamed Ramsey, Andreas Koch, Robin Doney, Fabio Schlegel, Dennis Eckenberger, I think I've got that one right, Mac Waversick and Matthias Overkirk rounded out the top 20 there as well. And no tricky names to pronounce today, so you don't need to worry. We've not got to try and mispronounce any names or try and get them absolutely correct. We've gone through the list. We know what we're saying today. And these drivers then all lined up, all 19 of them today, though. These are all the standings of the Challenger League as it stands at the moment this season. There's a clear runaway leader at the moment, but he's being caught by the rest of the pack. It's Yannick Pletcher on 71 points from Nico Forland on 57. Nico Forland, Mr. Consistency at the minute, hasn't won a race and is doing well in the championship. Marcus Valverde and Augustin Torlacci on 51 points. Before it's Madrid's Adrian Gomez and Borges Arzo. Again, 4 Madrid drivers in a row on 39 and 34. Rock Mertzel's on 29 points before the Hayder brothers 8th and 9th. And Antonio Rivoli rounds out the top 10 in the standings. And that is the current standings after Imola last time out then. Obviously, Challenge 5 of the season, meaning the halfway point of the season. In the bottom half of the table is Gianluca Palmisano on 8, Walter Troninger on 7, Thomas Herzog and Mohamed Ramsey are on 6 points apiece. Mario Stanek is on 4, Tyler Klaus and Besnik Mertezi on 2, Fabio Schlegel and Robin Doney on 1 point each. And we've had various other drivers take part in the championship season. They are all on 0 points at the moment. So the top 19 there you see have all scored points this season. And it's been a fantastic season. None more so for Nico Folland. I just mentioned a moment ago, Mr. Consistent at the moment. He hasn't had a race win, but he's been on the podium. He's been in the top 5, I believe, every race this season. He's been absolutely fantastic to watch. And he's just off the back of Yannick Pletcher because of the fact Yannick's had that race win to his name. Speaking of men to watch, it's the Spaniard, Marcus Valverde. So we're just over half race distance now, and now Valverde uses one towards the end of the straight. Here comes Marcus Valverde up the inside. He got squeezed by Gomez, but finds a clear run through, and that is a great move from Marcus Valverde there then. Puts himself into P4. Here is Valverde once more, still hunting down after Nico Folland. They come towards the final corner for the 17th time. And will Valverde now use push to pass? Folland has 1 lap left. Good run from Valverde out the final corner. Down the start straight they come. He uses a push to pass now. Folland doesn't. And Valverde pulls out to the outside line. That will be job done before turn 1. Valverde moves into P2. Great to see the 2 there.
Yeah.
This man, he's been in the lead after he passed Thomas Herzog. He hasn't looked back after passing Thomas Herzog. What a drive. 2 races in a row. Valverde has had a phenomenal drive. It's going to be the man with the headband, Marcus Valverde, your race winner for race 4. Very happy man. And you hear them deafening sounds in Madrid. Brilliant to see. He's in now. It's a big cheer and a big round of applause. A fantastic hug. And it is Marcus Valverde. What an atmosphere in Madrid that is.
Yeah, very well done.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And there he is, and just over our shoulder is the man to watch at the moment, Marcus Valverde, who's been on a real good bit of form as of late. He's been absolutely flying. He got that 2nd place back at Mugello when he was on a knockout qualifying ban as well. He had that to his name, and he had a fantastic drive through the pack to get that 2nd place. And then the win last time out at Imola as well was absolutely brilliant. See, he was fully focused and fully determined on what he was doing in that race. And as we said there on the commentary, that the moment he passed Thomas Herzog, he didn't look past him. Marcus, we can speak with you now. The man to watch at the moment here in the Challenger League. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for the race. I train a lot, so I think it will be a good one. I will give my absolute best to keep chasing Yannick to the championship, because that's my main goal, to win the championship, so I will go for it.
It's becoming a really tight championship fight between yourself, Augustin Torlacci, Yannick Pletcher and Nico Folland. Are you really sort of feeling that momentum is with you at the moment?
I mean, I can't say anything because, you know, everything can happen in the race, but mentally I'm prepared to whatever comes next in the race. And, you know, everything can happen, and I will try to get out the best of every situation.
And a very tricky track today. Marcus, what are we hoping for? Obviously, you come from by the back in the knockout qualifying session. What are you got to do to get to P1?
I think I just have to be patient, because I hope, I mean, I don't hope, but I feel that there will be some crashes on the start, and I think if I'm careful and patient with my pace, I think I can get to the top, because I have the pace.
Thank you for speaking to us, Marcus. We'll let you get back to your gear up session, and hopefully we'll speak to you later on in the programme.
Okay, thank you.
So that there was Marcus Valverde, who's currently in his gear up session, and here he is around the Zurich airport circuit, like I say, right below us in the airport tower. And it's great to see him going through. Currently, he's sat at the 6th fastest. And as you can see, a few new graphics on the screen there, just making it a bit easier for you, the audience at home, to see the push to pass, as well as the driver's name. Mark Valverde, 6th fastest at the moment. But this is free practice, so it actually means nothing so far. It is all just about getting into that rhythm, getting into the flow of things, and making sure that the car feels good underneath you. You feel confident and happy in the car as well, because it's a very tricky circuit. It's bumpy bumpy, it's long, it's fast around here. You've got to make sure you are on it at all times. It is on the edge of your seat stuff. You do not want to miss any laps around this circuit today. Knockout qualifying in the race is going to be absolutely fantastic. And he said there, the crucial thing for me in that little chat with Marcus there was mentally, he feels like he's got the run of form with him. He's got that momentum with him, and he's taking it good into the next race by race. And that's what I like about the determination of Marcus Valverde. There is he's mentally prepared and ready for this one. Let's take a look, though, at the knockout grid, as it will be for the knockout format. Now, there is 2 drivers on a knockout ban, and we'll get to them in a moment. But it is Daniel Stanek, new driver today for Racing Unleashed, on pole position with Andreas Prax, in P2. Sylvain Preuss will be P3. Michael Waverstick, P4. Roberto Miguez, P5. Fabio Schlegel and Mario Stanek, 6th and 7th. Mohamed Ramsey, Walter Trauninger and Lorenzo Hayder returning to the grid rounds out the top 10. And the bottom 10 are as follows, and it is Joshua Hayder from Borges Zarzo, Adrian Gomez and Augustin Torlacci 13th and 14th. Marcus Valverde himself will be coming from P15 before Nico Farland and Yannick Pletcher, the championship leader, 16th and 17th. And there at the bottom of the screen, Andreas Koch and Robin Doney will be coming from 18th and 19th place. They are on a knockout qualifying ban, and we'll get into the penalty points a little later on as well. But they will have to start from the back in from the back in the race. They will not take part in knockout at all because they have received 20 or more penalty points over the course of this season. So they have got to do their gear up session. They'll end that, get out the simulators and get ready to prepare for the race. But it's going to be tough for them because they've got to watch their competitors go around the circuit and try their best to get as good a grid position as they possibly can. They have just got to sit, watch and wait to see what happens. Prize money is what is on store as well today, though. It's fantastic prize fund we have here at Racing Unleashed. On the far end of the screen, to the right of me, it is 750 Swiss francs for a race win, all the way down to 30 Swiss francs for a top 10 finish, giving you also some points in the championship. But it's this column next to that in the season. 3,000 Swiss francs in your back pocket, which at the minute could be going the way of Yannick Pletcher. 2,000, 1,500, 1,000, 800, 600, 400, 300, 200, 100 for the top 10. The Racer League will obviously get into a little more tomorrow. This, though, is the qualification phase. And if you want to qualify for the next event, which I believe is Monza, it will be opening on the 21st of August. 21st of August will qualify and will be opening for the Challenger League. So you've got a couple of weeks break just before the qualification period opens. That will close on the 30th of August before our race then at the beginning of September at Monza, the Temple of Speed we are heading to next, and who will be the lucky 20 drivers to qualify in this position. If you are new to the programme, then the Challenger League drivers don't have a confirmed seat for the season. They have to qualify to get in, and that opens on the 21st of August, as you see there. The calendar, though, the 1st and 2nd of September is the next round at Monza before we head to Barcelona on the 29th and 30th of September. We then get a month's break to October before we head to Spa. Fantastic circuit. Middle of November, then, we go to Laguna Seca. New for this season, Laguna Seca, the penultimate round of the season. Interested to see corners like the corkscrew in that one. And then the Battle for Glory is at a secret, unknown location where they are not telling us where it is being held at the moment. That is the 8th and 9th of December. But not only is that the Battle for Glory, that is also round 10 of the championship. So it isn't just an end-of-season race for the drivers to take part in. It is round 10. So if the championship is still up for grabs, there is a secret circuit where they need to make sure they are fully prepared to go in that one, because that is race 10 of the season. If you're Yannick Pletcher or Nico Farland, you're going to want to make sure you're prepared for what is thrown at you at that track if you have a championship up for grabs, or most certainly our one to watch, Marcus Valverde or Augustin Torlacci. Top 4 really close at the moment, and it's been a fantastic season to watch. It's gone the way in the Challenger League of 2 wins to Kemptal and 2 wins to Madrid. It's been a win for Marcus Valverde, Augustin Torlacci. Rock Mertzl took a race win back at the Red Bull Ring, and Yannick Pletcher won the first race of the season at Silverstone. So it's 4 different winners in 4 races. Can we make it 5 different winners in 5 races tonight? That's going to be the interesting question. And there's a lot of guys on this grid who can do so. None more than the 2 most passionate drivers I have ever met in the 2 Hayder brothers, Lorenzo and Joshua. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do now that they're back after missing the last couple of races. Gear Up, though, is coming towards the end. We're into the last 19 seconds of the Gear Up session, and it's your man, Yannick Pletcher, who is out front at the moment, a 1/10.5 quicker than his closest title rival, Nico Folland. Joshua Hayder's within half a second as Augustin Torlaci now puts himself into P3. With Joshua Hayder now down into 4th. Lorenzo Hayder just pops himself up into P5. Valverde at the minute, 1.140 off the pace. But again, that means nothing. There is Yannick Pletcher, you can see on your screens, and he's absolutely flying at the moment. The thing I like about Yannick, and I say this every time we're in the commentary box here, is he's calm. He's so cool that he doesn't look like anything in the world bothers him as Nico Folland passes a car that runs a little wide. And this is our Monaco here at Racing Unleashed. Now look at the determination on that face of Nico Folland there. And there's our last time Racer League winner, Angelo Michele, in the background, come to support his fellow Munich driver on. And these two work together a lot in our racing lounges and really help each other practice and get better, develop to make sure that they are at their best for this season. Nico Folland, Mr. Consistent at the moment, will be really wanting to get the monkey off his back and get that first win of the season. That is going to be the crucial thing for him here, is it's really to get that first win, because that first win, the points difference from first to second, is some 7 points, sorry. So that 7 points can really close that gap up. Even if Yannick is second, it can really close the gap from Nico Folland to Yannick Pletcher. And there is a brilliant shot of our camera crew in Kempthal at the moment. Yannick Pletcher and our fellow drivers down the order there, all practicing and getting ready to go. The Hayder brothers are in the middle 2 cockpits, the black and the red one. 5 drivers, all fully focused. And as the session comes to an end, you just see Yannick's simulator come to a stop, and he has a rest. He closes his eyes. He takes a deep breath there. And he has it all to do once again. And he has to know now that he's got to come from P17 on the grid in knockout qualifying. And he has to come to the front. Now, what a party atmosphere we had last time out in the Challenger League at Kempthal Lounge. There's a bit of a party atmosphere going on as well. Down here, we still have the Formula BMW car on show. And it is a great atmosphere to see once again as some of our Racing Lounge representatives, fans, family, and friends all take a part in a good bit of a buffet on show here. And all for a good reason today. All for a good reason, which we'll get into a little later in the programme. As it's fantastic to see, look, the sofas and chairs have all been pulled out. And it's great to see this family activity today. And if anybody in Kempthal can hear us, let's have a wave to the camera crew. There we go. There's a little wave to the camera crew as they're all ready to watch. It's all good fun. Down there, there's Christoph Holstein. A thumbs up from in front. Christoph, a wave from Christoph. I'm sure he'll give us one. Yes, he loves it. He's ready to go. You'll see Christoph tomorrow. He's the race winner in the Racer League. He'll be going tomorrow in the Racer League tomorrow morning, as well as fantastic atmosphere. We said this along. And you heard earlier in the One to Watch video of Marcos Valverde, you heard the noise from the Madrid lounge. The party atmosphere in Madrid as well last time out at Imola was absolutely electric. And we hope to do more of the same again this week. It is absolutely brilliant. The podium is set up, but is there going to be a Kempthal driver on that podium today? A thumbs up for people all around. And it is going to be go time for their knockout qualifying session very soon. And a cheeky smile from one of our drivers there. I do believe that is Daniel Stanek, who is the new driver to Racing Release. Here's Michael Waversick. A wave from him. And it's great to see him having a great smile there and a good laugh for Michael Waversick there. Then fantastic to see them all ready to go in this knockout session. And this is the tricky thing for these drivers. They have to stay in their simulators between that gear up and this knockout qualifying session. So you can't really mentally switch off like you can from knockout to the race, where you can just have a moment and take a deep breath, maybe go to the toilet, grab a drink. From gear up to knockout, you really mentally have to stay switched on this whole entire time. And, well, that's not what you want to be seeing there. It looked like a bit of a monitor problem for one of the drivers. So hopefully we can sort that in Munich for that certain driver then, because we'd hate to see monitor problems and him having to change simulators. These are just little distractions that the drivers are not going to want as they head into this knockout session then. But what an absolute fantastic track we have in store for you today. It's fast, it's flowing, it's left, right, bumpy. It's what you expect an airfield to be. And it's going to be an absolute brilliant race. It is exactly 7.614 kilometres in length. It is one of the shorter races in terms of number of laps. It is a 12-lap knockout qualifying session where there'll be 10 knockout laps, 1 guarded lap, not the 2 we're used to, and 1 warm-up lap for those drivers, for those viewers who are new to Racing Unleashed. As it looks like they've got the simulator working, or have they? Oh, now, this is not one. And I do believe that is one of our championship contenders, Nico Farland, who's having to have a late change of simulator here. Now, we speak about that mental preparation for these drivers to go through before the session. These little disruptions that we're seeing here is going to really distract a driver, and he's got to really keep focus and make sure that he climbs in. Little doubts creep into your mind when having these little technical issues that the simulator is clearly having. I believe it was the screen that he was having problems with. So he's now got to hope that everything on that simulator is working absolutely perfect, because the smallest thing wrong, the attention to detail these drivers has in these cockpits is fantastic. The smallest thing wrong, these drivers will feel that, and it will affect them, and it will really play on their minds throughout the whole of the session. So for Nico Farland here, you know, does that doubt creep into his mind about it's happened to one, will it happen to another? I'm sure he'll be fine in this one. And obviously our Racing Unleashed colleagues are going to take a look and make sure everything is working, and he's strapping himself in now. The thing is, you have to see there is Angelo Michel, keeping him calm, keeping him relaxed, telling him, reassuring him that everything's fine. It's all going to go according to plan. We've done that, you know, how many times do you change simulators each different race? It's all going to be okay. Every little detail, Mikel will be telling him, come on, you've got this, you can do this. We fight through this and we get to as good a result as possible. But Nico Farland looks like he's strapped in now and looks like he's sitting pretty comfortable and ready to go, as it looks like he's being spoken to now by, again, another friend or family there, just to reassure him that everything is fine and everything is good to go. So for Nico Farland, just a last-minute alteration that he himself would not have wanted. And we see this in the real world of motorsport. The last little things where mechanics start looking at cars, a little bit of doubt starts creeping into that driver's mind just a bit. It's the same here for Nico Farland. He's had that what looked to be a monitor issue, and now he's just thinking, what if it happens again? Angelo Michel has got to reassure him that everything is fine, everything will work, and he will be the man to get a good, hopefully, a good knockout qualifying session in a race that comes up a little later on. It's going to be fantastic to see. So 19 drivers, there'll be 17 in the knockout qualifying, which I do believe then means that we will only have an even shorter knockout qualifying. So if you are new to Racing Unleashed, we'll explain the penalty points before we get into the knockout session. Here is then the penalty points. If you get a 2-place grid penalty in the knockout qualifying session, it is 5 penalty points. 4 places equals 10 and 6 places equals 15. On a first lap incident, they are doubled. In the race, it is a 5-second time penalty or a 10 or a 15-second time penalty to your name. It is 5, 10 and 15 penalty points. Again, lap 1 incidents are double the penalty. So that 5 could become 10 seconds in lap 1, and all of a sudden you're looking at 10 penalty points. These are what the drivers don't want. These are what drivers have to their name already as well, and the drivers are going to want to get rid of these. But if the drivers have a clean knockout, or if the drivers have a clean race, they are rewarded. If they have a clean knockout qualifying session, they will be deducted 2 points off of their licence for a clean knockout session. So if you are on 18 penalty points, have a clean knockout, you'll be deducted 2. That'll take you down to 16. If you have a clean race, that will be deduction of 3, putting you then down from 16 to 13. And all of a sudden, you can sit a little calmer because you've lost them penalty points. The drivers look like, though, they're lined up on the grid ready to go, driven by our Mercedes AMG GT3 safety car. And a long, like we said, 7.6 kilometres in length, this circuit. A real long circuit for these drivers to prepare their tyres and brakes. But you don't want to overdo the tyres on this warm-up lap. You don't want to overdo them, because if you do that and you come into turn 1 and the tyres are too warm, you will know about it. And this is all these things that these drivers, as good as these, talented as these drivers are, it is going to be fantastic to see. Let's, though, take a little look at the inside of the track.
Hello, welcome back to Zurich, Switzerland, and today is really special because racing, a track that doesn't exist anywhere else, is the Racing Unleashed Zurich Airport circuit. For me, is one of those USPs that sim racing is all about. Racing Unleashed created a circuit from scratch. They've mapped a real airport in real time and created a circuit layout that they think will get the most optimal and exciting experience for our racers. So you got to stay tuned for it. This is truly exclusive content. It's going to test these guys to the nth degree of their skill. It's a complete blend between really high downforce, flowing corners, strong braking zones, and top speed straights. Don't go away. This is going to be special.
As the drivers are being taken around the lap, thank you to James there, who is giving us the information on the circuit. And like he said, all brand new to the calendar and brand new to these drivers, because this isn't a real race circuit. It was made for these drivers, for Racing Unleashed, and it is happening right below us as we speak. So the Mercedes AMG GT3 is the car that is away. It is leading the pack, ready then to make sure the grid is going to be set. So, quick run through once again. It is Daniel Stanek on pole position at the moment. Andreas Prax in P2. Sylvain Proust P3. Michael Waversick is 4th. Roberto Miguez is P5. Fabio Schlegel 6th. Mario Stanek in P7. Mohamed Ramsey is 8th. Walter Troninger in P9. Lorenzo Hayder is P10. Joshua Hayder 11th. Borja Sarzo 12th. Adrian Gomez P13. 14th is Augustin Torlaci. Marcus Valverde, the one to watch, lines up P15. Nico Farland 16th. Yannick Pletcher 17th. And there is no Robin Doney or Andreas Koch out there because they are on a knockout ban. So 17 drivers to go. And don't know what's gone on here a little bit, but the safety car has only got Daniel Stanek behind him as they head through the middle part of the lap. The rest of the pack now starts to catch up. We've now got Andreas Prax with us as well, and there's the rest of the pack coming through then. So I believe we're all in the correct order. 17 drivers will get us away. The safety car will obviously pull off at the end of this lap. It is a one guarded lap. There from the rear wing of the Mercedes AMG GT3 safety car. Beautiful car. And it is taking us around this fantastic circuit here in Zurich. Like we say, we have closed the airport today. The only things taking off down the runway will be the drivers. Plenty of chances to use push to pass. Just look at that little track map in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can see plenty of straights and plenty of opportunities to use push to pass around here. But we have a very tricky start line here because it is on the circle curve, which is obviously around the circle at the airport where one of our racing lounges is stationed. As the safety car now starts to pull away from Stanek, and Stanek will back the pack up. The safety car pulls into the pits. He won't back the pack up for long though, because he's already decided he's going to drop the throttle, and away he goes. So we are green here in the knockout qualifying session. The safety car pulls into the pits. It's Daniel Stanek leading the pack away, and it's all pretty clean as they come in towards turn 1. And now it's a very tricky hairpin back on yourself, bumpy part of the circuit here. As you can see, the grates all across the track for the drainage around here then. But Stanek at the moment doing a fantastic job to pull away. In Kemptol, Joshua Hayder's got ahead of Walter Troninger then. That is for 9th and 10th at the moment. Lorenzo Hayder as well has got past him. Here is Lorenzo Hayder. You see just in front Mohamed Ramsey and Fabio Schlegel. Looks like Ramsey's having a look to the left to just see if he can get past Schlegel a little bit here. Lorenzo Hayder has a look as well before tucking into the right, back onto the left-hander, and it sort of goes quick and then slows down. Schlegel had a bit of a wiggle on the exit of the corner, and Ramsey goes through. Yannick Pletcher, patient as ever, biding his time as the two Spanish drivers, or the two drivers from Madrid, should I say, are side by side. That is Augustin Torlaci and that of Marcus Valverde. And I think it's Torlaci who's lost out to Valverde and now loses out to Nico Farland. And now over the bumps is going to possibly lose out to Yannick Pletcher, get the traction down. He might not, because there's a left-hander coming up, and Torlaci has that inside line. Not sure what's happened to Sylvain Proust then, because he is 4 seconds off the back of this pack and his time isn't actually moving, so I wonder if that's a DNF then for Sylvain Proust in this session. As Yannick Pletcher now tucks in behind. Look at the gaggle of cards we've been told in my ear that the only DNF is the safety car, so Preuss must still be out there, not updating on our graphics then. So we'll hopefully get that one sorted so his times are updated and we know where he is on the grid. Look at the bunch of cars up front there. Walter Trauning is in this. A bit of a slide there from Adrian Gomez ahead of Borges Zaza, who's now the two in front of Walter Trauning. That's a car in the wall. And I'm not sure who that is. I don't think it's Michael Waver-6. He's in front of this pack here, so I'm not quite sure who the car in the wall was there to the left-hand side. But they're three abreast. Yannick Pletcher, that of Fabio Schlegel and Marcus Valverde. And now it's Pletcher and Valverde. Wiggle. Well held. Yannick Pletcher bouncing off another car there of Schlegel and Pletcher. And now Forland's in the wall. And that catches Schlegel and Yannick Pletcher. And all three in the wall. Well, that could put to end the end of their qualifying because the knockout laps come up now in Yannick. Even a spin in a big crash like that doesn't seem to change the expression on his face. He still looks as calm as ever. So then, Lorenzo Hayder is coming through. He's P6 at the moment. He's on the back of Mohamed Ramzi and that of Andreas Praxen. Just ahead, Stanik's down to Mario Stanik is down to second. Roberto Miguez is in second place. Sorry, Stanik is in third, and then it is Daniel Stanik in P1. And here is Lorenzo Hayder. Great to see the Hayder brothers back on circuit. And not a car there. That was a car in the wall on the left-hand side. And that is Miguez and Stanik. And the one who starts on pole, Daniel Stanik, is off and tumbling down the order then. So around he is gone. And that possibly gives Yannick Pletcher the chances. There was a tap between Mohamed Ramzi and I believe Prax there. And Lorenzo Hayder got caught up in that. That's put Ramzi well off. And now Lorenzo and Joshua Hayder up the pack. Waver-6 still in P4. Gomez up to 5th, Zazo 6th, Marcus Valverde now up to 7th, the one to watch. Well, his championship rivals can't get near him, and it's a brotherly battle here. It's back to Borges Zazo. The two Hayder brothers side by side further forward. Ahead of Borges Zazo is Gomez and Waver-6 side by side. Zazo side by side with Marcus Valverde in a big shunt in the rear of Waver-6 there. Really puts Waver-6 off, and Zazo creeps up the inside, pushes Valverde. And Waver-6 a little wide, and Zazo now is that Valverde round, I believe it was. And all sorts of chaos here in Zurich today. As Roberto Miguez has lost out to Yannick Pletcher, Sylvain Preuss has now DNF'd. So I do believe there is only 17 cars on the grid. And I believe we will lose 2 drivers this lap. There is Mohamed Ramzi in Munich. Our Egyptian driver coming through. He's P6 at the moment after his little spin. Or a little tangle with another car, should I say. He's now got to build back up. He's got Borges Zazo in front of him. And there is Lorenzo Hayder, fully focused and determined. Here you see brother Joshua Hayder just in the background in the black simulator. So plenty of work for the Hayder brothers to do in this one today. Oh, a little grimace on the face there of Joshua Hayder. He must have had a bit of a snap on the car there at one stage as he's now P2. Lorenzo behind him. It's Gomez it's Prax who still leads this race. It's Adrian Gomez who's P4 and on the back of this train. Then there you see Borges Zazo and Mohamed Ramzi. So a bit of a train starting to form. Pletcher is now out of that danger zone, and it is Marcus Valverde who is now in the danger zone. It's Joshua Hayder on the back of Prax for the lead of this knockout qualifying session, which could give him P1 for the race. And for Lorenzo, he's having a look at his brother, but his brother's now having a look on Prax. It's Joshua Hayder who's going to go up the inside around the long right-hander. They've got the left-hander to come next. He did get ahead for just a little bit. Prax tries to go as late as daring as he can. Now Lorenzo wants a piece of this. Oh, they get squeezed, and Lorenzo just tapped the back of Prax there as he got squeezed. He has found a way through though. And well, Andreas Prax in Cobb has just been sandwiched, one of the Hayder brothers with the other Hayder brother there. So it's Joshua Hayder from Lorenzo Hayder. Prax third, Gomez in P4. Borges Zazo's on this train, P5. He's got Mohamed Ramzi right behind him for company in P6. Nico Forland is in 7th. We have now lost Roberto Miguez. He will be starting from P16 provisionally in the race coming up later on. Valverde down in 14th. Pletcher's back up to 10th. Where's Nico Forland? 7th place at the moment. Augustin Torlacci is down in 11th place. Oh, and that's Stanek backwards. Backwards across the wall. That is coming through, I believe, the circle. I think he's out of qualifying as well. Yes, he is. So Stanek is out of qualifying in P15. So we're down to the top 14 drivers now as it's Lorenzo and Joshua Hader starting to stretch their legs out front a little bit. Prax has got now the pressure of Gomez, Zarzo, Mohamed Ramsey on the back of him. Nico Farland will want to try and chase them down and catch them up as well. As Pletcher, Torlaci, Stanek, Troninger, Valverde get ahead of Schlegel then, and here comes Valverde. Looks on Troninger, flicks it to the left. And I believe backed out to that move, left it too late, and Troninger stays in front. Yannick Pletcher's just got ahead of Gomez as well, so he's now up to P8. Marcus Valverde, 13th on the road at the moment. In that danger zone, though, of knockout so far. Needs to get past Walter Troninger here. He's just not close enough really to make a move. They are coming, they're about halfway through this circuit, coming in towards the final set now. He has to look to that right-hand side. He's got the inside line now for the right-hand bend. He's already ahead of Walter Troninger. Who's going to be braver on the bets? Will Walter try and outbrake Valverde? You don't need to brake for this corner, it's flat out. What about now? Valverde on the brakes. Gets it done. Good move, Valverde there. Fantastic move for him. So Walter Troninger now in a spot to bother. Needs to try and get that place back, otherwise that's going to be P13 provisionally for him. Tight, twisty section now. They come through towards the end of the lap. There is Fabio Schlegel. He's sadly going to be out of this knockout session. It's going to be P14 for him. It's going to be P13 for Walter Troninger. And Yannick Pletcher now is up to P7. He's got past Michael Waversick. There is Walter Troninger, who will be out the cockpit in a moment. That is his qualifying done, P13. Torlaci's just got ahead of Gomez. In fact, they're having a little battle here. We're on board them now because it's not just with Torlaci and Gomez. Waversick was off there. He was involved as well. Oh, big wheel. Big snap. Augustin Torlaci keeps hold of it. And it's Michael Waversick who's now dropped down to P12. Valverde needs to find 9/10 of a second to get past Mario Stanek. There's Nico Farland there. All smiles for Nico Farland in P4 at the moment. And maybe them worries about the simulator have just been put to bed. Yannick Pletcher's on the back of Andreas Prax. And Prax started second in this session. He's currently running P6, so a good session for him in calm. Pletcher's going to try and go the long way around under the Swiss Air jet there. There's a bit of contact between Prax and Pletcher gets through. He's up into P6. So good move from Yannick Pletcher, set him up really there, and he's done well to get that one done. And he now moves into P6. He's got 2 seconds just about to get to Borges Zarzo. And he's got to hope, really, I suppose it's a 7.6 kilometre circuit, and they've still not finished this lap, so he's still got plenty of time to make it up over Borges Zarzo. What's happened to Joshua Hader? He's lost the lead of this knockout session, and it's been dropped behind his brother Lorenzo and Mohamed Ramsey then. So Joshua Hader first to third, and Nico Farland's now on the back of him. So I'm not sure what's happened to Joshua Hader there, but it's just gone a little wrong for him at the end of this session. Did him and his brother make a bit of contact? Well, I want to be at dinner there tonight, if they have. Michael Waversick, though, is going to cross the line P12. He will be eliminated, as will Marcus Valverde. It is only going to be P11 for Valverde. That is the best he could have hoped for, and that is the best he could have done in this session after his earlier spin then. Augustin Torlaci now tied on points with Valverde. Wants to get ahead. Oh, look at the expression of Valverde's face there. He's got a big race to come. He'll feel absolutely distraught, but he's got a chance to climb out the cockpit and really focus on now what he can do in that race. On board with Torlaci. He needs to get past Gomez in front because it's Torlaci and Stanek that are now in trouble. As that is Gomez going very wide, and Torlaci won't want a second invitation. Job done, P8. Gomez actually lost out to Stanek in that as well, so Gomez just starting to fall back here. One little mistake's dropped him 2 places. Now all of a sudden, if Mario Stanek can find that second in half a lap, he'll be through to the next lap. Nico Farland on the back of Joshua Hader at the moment then. And this really good for Nico Forlan because that little doubt of the changing simulators may have crept into his mind. He's got a great run on Joshua Hader. He flicks the car out. Oh, keep hold of it as the rear end wants to overtake him. And again, big snap, well held. Nico Forlan. That'll get the blood pumping through the body. That'll rev him up even more to be determined to get past Joshua Hader. Next time it was a late flick to pull out on Joshua Hader as we come through the real tight, slow last section of the lap. In towards the circle now. I believe we're going to say goodbye to Adrian Gomez, who will be P10 in this session. Provisionally for him, P10. Not the result he would have hoped for, but I'm sure he can bounce back in the race. And Mario Stanek as well, P9 for him in this session. Yannick Pletcher, fastest lap of the race, P6 so far up front. We're now on board Augustin Torlacci, who's got Prax just in front, and for Prax and Torlacci, these are the two that are now in the elimination zone. They've got 5 seconds till they get to Yannick Pletcher. So you feel that these two will be eliminated this lap, barring a problem for one of the drivers up front, but it's in which order they will finish. Torlacci is all over the back of Prax here. Yannick Pletcher is within 8/10 of Borges-Arzo. Borges-Arzo has got 3 seconds to the car in front. Torlacci got very close under braking there. Really determined young man trying to focus on where he can make this overtake. Long, fast right-hander. Pulls it out now. Dab on the brakes before the left-hander. Little lift as well through there. Bit more of a lift possibly through the right. Bounces off the curb. Sends the car a little wider over the bump. Get her stopped. She does just about as they both have a bit of a slide under braking then. Long corners here. Hurry up and wait corners as I like to call them. Where you have to come off the throttle, apply a bit of brake and just wait to put that power back down. And Torlacci here, Prax had a bit of a horrible exit there, a bit left and a bit right, wiggly all over the place. He's pushed Torlacci off fully there, but Torlacci stays side by side. He's got a great run into the left-hander, which is flat as we've just found out a moment ago. Flat through here. Who's going to be late onto the brakes into the right-hander? Torlacci, as late as he dares, doesn't find the apex, but gets that move done. And that is going to be then P7 and 8 for Prax and Torlacci. Can Prax come back at Torlacci later in this session? Doesn't look like that is going to be the case. It looks like Torlacci has checked out back up front, and Joshua Hader gaining on the back of Mohamed Ramsey then. Mohamed Ramsey still on the back of Lorenzo Hader, and Nico Forlan having a cheeky look up the inside there, but there wasn't a big enough gap for him to fit his RU23 through as they come down the first real straight, hitting all the bumps. It's Yannick Pletcher and Borges-Arzo in the danger zone now. Again, the question is, which way around will they be then? As here is Nico Forlan. You've got Walter Treuninger still in the cockpit watching on behind. Great support for Nico Forlan at the minute. I believe the only Munich driver, him and Mohamed Ramsey, the only 2 Munich drivers left in this knockout session. 3 drivers from Kemptall and only the 1 driver from Madrid of Borges-Arzo left in this knockout session. They have caught this pack a little bit. That gap between Borges-Arzo and Nico Forlan is now 2.6 seconds. But he's got Yannick Pletcher crawling all over the back of him here. And with just possibly over half a lap left to go, is Yannick going to make a move, or is Borges-Arzo going to catch the rest of this pack out front? These 4 are pretty much line of stern as they are, and they don't need to push at the minute. They know they have an extra lap underneath them so far. Here is Yannick, who at one stage of this session looked like he was eliminated, but has come back and he's going to try and go for P5. He pulls up to the inside now of Borges-Arzo. Borges-Arzo, don't forget, our prologue winner. And now he's going to try and get a long way around. Zarzo's coming back at him up the inside. Great side-by-side racing. Was there a little touch here? I'm not sure. But Borges-Arzo does lose out to Yannick Pletcher. He's got a smile on his face. So clearly no complaints about the racing there. He's still fighting it around the outside at the moment, is Borges-Arzo. Got to the inside now on Yannick Pletcher for the left-hander. Goes a little deep. He's had a spin. Was there contact made? Yannick was very slow out the corner there, so did contact get made between the 2 of them? Either way, Yannick Pletcher is provisionally going to cross the line P5. Borges-Arzo in that P6 as Yannick, a very calm man there. Sure, that one is going to be looked at. Right, top 4 battle on here. Lorenzo Hader, Mohamed Ramsey, Joshua Hader, Nico Forlan, all within a second and a half of each other. But who is going to be the man to come out on top? It's Joshua Hader and Nico Forlan, the driver, in trouble at the moment. So they've got to make a move on Ramsey and Lorenzo Hader this time around. It's going to be very interesting to see as Forlan there, little different line to the cars in front, now puts that power down. And it is 1.4 second first to fourth. It's been a fantastic knockout session. Oh, Joshua Hader horribly wrong through the S's, and that's give Nico Forlan P3. And there's a bit of a gap formed now as Forlan probably have to go off the power, and Lorenzo Hader as well. He's gone straight on into the gravel, and all of a sudden the Hader brothers, it has gone horribly wrong for them, and they've gone from first and third to third and fourth. And it is now all of a sudden the two Munich drivers who are on that pole position, on that front row of the grid. Lorenzo Hader's took his headset off. He can't believe the mistake he's just made there. So the Hader brothers look like they're going to possibly line up on that second row of the grid, and it is going to go down to then the Munich shootout between Mohamed Ramzi and Nico Forlan, who possibly doesn't even need the extra lap. Forlan's pulled out. He's side by side with Ramzi. Flicks it into the left-hander. He's going to have the inside line for the corner after. And he gets the move done. Joshua Hader, as late as he dares on the brakes, he's just trying to catch up, but cannot at the moment. As we come into the final parts of this lap, it's going to be Lorenzo Hader P4. Joshua Hader looks like he's going to be P3. And it is now a straight-out fight in Munich between Mohamed Ramzi and Nico Forlan for pole position. So we lose the Hader brothers. Mistakes on their own that cost them on the last lap of that knockout session. Lorenzo looks absolutely distraught there. It was his own mistake, it looked like, as well, that put him into the gravel. He'll be P4 though, provisionally. Joshua P3. Right, Mohamed Ramzi, what do you have in the locker now? You've got to get back ahead of Nico Forlan. Mr. Consistent, he hasn't had a race win all season, but once again he's proving why he's in this championship battle, because he's driving brilliantly and he's constantly up there. He's there or thereabouts. It's Mohamed Ramzi half a second behind. Can he use that slipstream of Forlan's car in front? There is no push to pass, let's not forget, in knockout. So with his straight out speed between the drivers, he's lost half a second through the S's there, as our camera crew picks up Joshua and Lorenzo Hader. There's going to be a bit of a fist bump and a high five there between them two, so clearly happy with the work they have done. He's found half a tenth as Ramzi. Oh, he's just lost it on the eggs of the corner. This looks like with half a lap left, all Forlan has to do is not put a foot wrong. I'm sure Mohamed Ramzi will take this as well. He came from 8th on the grid and will be P2. As Nico Forlan has got still quite a bit of way to go at the moment. He's only got a second lead, and what a tale for this man. He had to change his simulator at the end of gear up session then, and just before the knockout we were saying that how will he be thinking of the change of simulators going into this race? Well, his clear thought was P1, because that's the job he's done into the final couple of corners. Now it's going to be Nico Forlan who is provisionally going to be the man on pole position. Great knockout session for Nico as he comes into the circle now. It's going to be P1 for him today in knockout. All provisional at the moment, but a great drive from Nico Forlan. Mohamed Ramzi will come home as well for P2, but Nico Forlan, the man who is provisionally on pole, and any doubts he had about his simulator can now be put to bed, because that was a fantastic session from him, and I'm sure that'll give him some confidence going into the race a little later on in the programme. Great qualifying session for Nico Forlan there. And I'm sure in rush hour that myself and Fabio will have a few replays to take a look at and quite a bit to discuss as the session went on. As there is Joshua Hader just watching the monitor and the screen and just seeing Nico Forlan cross the line. What could have been for him? It'll be a second row start at the moment for the Hader brothers. P3 and P4 provisionally. And don't forget, we will bring you the final classification just before the race itself. All results are provisional results, and we will bring you the final classification. As again, a great atmosphere in the Kempthal Lounge. Great to see so many fans, friends and family there watching on. One man who looked really disappointed as well was that of Marcus Valverde, P11 in the knockout session, and he himself will possibly feel a little disappointed, but he knows what he's got to do in the race. It was a spin that he had. That will be back into it as the thumbs up there from Joshua Hader. And again, some of the fans and friends and family watching on at a very special Kempthal Lounge today Fantastic knockout session then. Right, we get 2 extra cars added to the race as well. We thought that was chaotic with some overtakes and incidents. I was about chucking another 2 cars into the race. Robin Doney and Andreas Koch will obviously be going from the back of the grid in the race. So that's 2 more cars trying to make their way forward. Possibly a little out of position. We'll have to wait and see a little later on. But as everybody's relaxing on the sofas and chilling out just before the race, the drivers will now be wanting to take some drinks on board, grab a bit of food, maybe a bite to eat, have a stretch, and maybe go outside and get some cool air, because it is warm inside these cockpits. It is warm here today as well in Switzerland, so it's going to be a fantastic result. It's fantastic for them to get outside and get some fresh air in. There is Nico Farland and pictures of Munich. Can't yet talk to him at the moment. Oh, we can talk. We can have Nico Farland now as he's getting high fives from everybody. And one more as well. Nico, that is P1. A great knockout session for yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a funny knockout because I'm seeing everyone is killing themselves. And I'm a little funny for me, so funny to watch.
Was it a little stressful just before knockout, because we saw that you had to change simulators?
Yeah, I was a little bit stressed because we have to change the simulator, and I didn't knew that simulator, but it works well, so I don't talk about that point anymore.
All good for the race coming up a little later on. It's provisionally P1 though. You've got good pace around here. Can you take the fight, maybe score some good points over Yannick Pletcher today?
Yeah, I hope so. I think now I'm in the position to gain more points than him in the race, so I have to get into it, head down, and keep pushing.
What's the thoughts at the start of the race then? P1, you'll see the green light though, with nobody in front of you. What's your plan in the race?
Trying to survive in the first corner. I knew who was starting behind me, so it makes me a little bit nervous about that, but we will see. I just want to survive the first lap, and if I have done that, then I'm just finishing the race.
Well, congratulations. We can tell you, Nico, that it is confirmed you are pole position. So very, very well done. You are confirmed P1. Best of luck in the race coming up a little later on.
Thank you very much. See you later.
So Nico Farland then P1 in this knockout session confirmed. There you see Race Control, the 3 guys who have the toughest job here at Racing Unleashed. They are the ones that have to make sure all this is done and everything is the correct decision. And you can see there just on the second monitor to the left, they're checking every little bit of footage. They'll have the telemetry, they'll have different camera angles of the cars. They can check every bit of input to make sure the decision is the correct one. And yeah, they've got the tough decision here, because they have got to go through what look to be a few incidents. They've got a bit to go through and make sure that they can do the stuff and get it all lined up. But we know that 3 drivers are confirmed at the minute. Robin Doney and Andreas Koch will be at the back of the grid, and it will be Nico Farland on pole position as we are getting ready to go into rush hour.
It's been a while, actually. Yeah, we had 3 races in like 6 weeks, so happy to be back after the long break.
It's great to have you back. It's great to have you here for obviously Racing Unleashed home race at Zurich Circuit. What a crazy knockout qualifying though that was.
Yeah, a lot of mess going on at some point. In the beginning, I was actually looking forward to a clean session. Eventually, it turned out to be quite the adventure.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think we have to go to Kemptal. I'm hearing that from the director, so...
Yeah, we're going to go to Kemptal now for a very, very special message at Kemptal. It's going to be fantastic to see. And it is then a little birthday celebration in Kemptal, and it is for Yannick Pletcher's granddad, Max, who is celebrating his 86th birthday today.
Yeah, what a fan actually, no? He's been in the background all the time when Yannick was racing. We see him here. Very lovely family, always supporting Yannick. And yeah, today is actually his birthday, so 86 years of age. And I hope to get the cake in time before the music starts.
He's been, like you say, he's been in the background every week for Yannick Pletcher. And Yannick Pletcher having a fantastic season. And very, very special birthday celebration for Max here. And here he is, the birthday man himself. A nice little birthday cake, a round of applause. A great party atmosphere down here in the Racing Lounge in Cape Town. I've had this jingle stuck in my head all day today.
Yeah, they were actually playing it all the way through, right? So the last time you hear it, unfortunately.
It'll be in my head all night, I'll tell you that one. It's been in my head all day. I've been humming it, taking notes today. Is 86 years young, and hopefully Yannick Pletcher can give him the best birthday present of all. A race win.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah, all the best also from us here in the studio and everyone back in the production team, etc. I hope he likes chocolate cake. We'll see about that. Yeah. But let's see. Yannick had the adventurous first few laps, actually, but he managed to come through in the end in P5, P6?
P5, yeah.
P5, yeah. So good recovery from him, especially with Marcos in the back.
Yeah.
But the guys in front, they're on it this time.
They're all on it, and it looked quite tight at the front. We saw at the end there, the Hayder brothers with Mohamed Ramsey and Nico Farland all looked quite tight as great scenes there. Happy birthday to Max then.
Is he giving us a wave?
Yeah. Brilliant to see.
Yeah.
And we wish you a very happy birthday and hope you have had a great day, and hopefully Yannick Pletcher can end it in success. But we saw the front four in that knockout at the end, the Hayder brothers, Nico Farland and Ramsey, very tight, very close. It was two mistakes that cost both Hayder brothers.
Yeah, actually I didn't see the mistakes there. I just heard it because I was on the toilet back there. But thank you for commentating.
Welcome.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, in a way it's bad. It shouldn't happen because it was some silly mistakes in the end. But on the other hand, they were already in that top four section, right? So, I mean, it could have been much, much worse than just P3 and P4 in the end. So, damage limitations, if you would say.
One man who had a very sort of disappointed expression on his face was Marcus Valverde, who just looked like everything had gone wrong for him. He just, Yeah,
I was actually watching him. He had a very good start, managed to get many places. But then he had a little tangle with Borja Sazo. He was on the inside, Borja on the outside. I believe Borja left enough space. So he was running over the curbs there a little bit, and he just lost the car, and just something that shouldn't happen. And he actually said he needs to be patient because he feels very quick on this track, and it's the worst possible outcome for him.
It's one of them, isn't it? You've got the gap, you go for the gap, you're not a driver if you don't, and one little mistake from yourself, and you go, it all can go wrong for you. Let's take a look at the penalty roster. As we know today, Robin Doney and Andreas Koch have served their knockout bans. Now their points get refreshed. So even though they're on the 37 and 35, their points are refreshed. Mm-hmm. They go back to 0 now. Gianluca Palmisano not with us this week. He has a knockout ban to his name. But for the likes of Fabio Schlegel, Mohamed Ramsey, who's out there at the moment today, they're close. They're on that limit of a knockout ban. Yeah,
you're right. And I can't really remember if Schlegel and Ramsey were involved in some sort of crashes. So they're actually on the verge now of a knockout ban. But, I mean, they can still actually reduce their points by having a clean race, because it's only at the end of the challenge that we make the math, and they need to be below the 20 points.
Exactly. Roberto Migas?
Yeah, that's the X is just showing that he already had a knockout ban. Okay. So
there we go.
So once you're up there again, you will have the X there on the knockout ban.
For the race ban. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roberto Migas, who served his knockout ban, 5 points to his name. He's another 15 points away from a week's ban, if you will, not just a knockout, but knockout and race, which is quite devastating as we come into this back end of the season. You don't want to be missing these later races.
No, you don't want to, because every race is important for the championship, especially for the top guys.
Yeah.
Ramsey has been missing in some races, so for him might not be so much of an issue, but still you just don't want to, sit around and watch the other guys race.
It's also a bit of a double kind of penalty because the Challenger League drivers have to qualify for each event.
Yeah.
If you then end up with a knockout ban, fail to qualify for a race, you've missed one round because you've not qualified. You've then got a knockout qualifying ban. That's 2 race weekends ruined.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 left after this one.
Exactly.
No, there's 5 left after this one, sorry.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to add there. I fully agree with what you said. And the guys have to be careful in the end.
They have to be careful indeed. Race controller taking a look at all the penalties that will be given. And we have more rush hour coming up with some nice replays and some interesting facts about this man. And when I say interesting facts, it was more where he started and where he finished at Zurich last year. Very little on this circuit, so I've had to go to YouTube and go back to last season's races to do my investigating and take my notes. And I jotted down here that you started second in knockout, or in the race, should I say?
Correct.
Yeah. You finished 7th.
Yep.
As points.
Points at least.
Prize money.
Yep.
Not a podium.
Not a podium. I really hope you don't show that.
I don't think we have it.
Okay.
I don't think we have it. This is just something I brought up on my notes. But we are going to look at the track preview, which Fabio will
would have been
bring it to.
embarrassing, actually.
Yeah. Zurich International Airport circuit then, and it's a fantastic one. It's the home of Racing Unleashed. It's the only track that Switzerland has to offer. It's 7.6 in kilometre length, 16 legendary turns, and it is exclusive to us. And the battle on the runway, as it is known as here. Fantastic layout, long layout, such a long layout.
Yes.
Track preview though, talk us of the start as we start at the circle.
Yeah, basically this is the new construction there at the airport, the circle. So we go around that, and then after the petrol station, actually, we take that right-hand turn towards the plane side, basically, as you would say.
Into RU1 and RU2.
Exactly, very tricky corners because the car has a lot of understeer there. Easy to make a mistake, especially because there is gravel, so there is no runoff. So if you make a mistake there, you lose a lot of time.
You lose a lot of time as well before you come to one of the chicanes on offer, and it seems a very fast entry, but tightens as you come on the exit.
Yeah, same there. Gravel at the exit. You need to be careful. You need to hook it up very carefully and then take the speed onto the straight.
Take the speed onto the straight and onto the runway as you come past one of our Swiss aeroplanes down the runway into Regazzoni, then another corner that you head out really quick, and it tightens the more you go through it.
Yeah, Regazzoni, named after the famous Formula 1 driver of Switzerland, Clay Regazzoni, unfortunately not with us anymore. Very technical section here. You need to hook it up well in order to be on right at the rear of your competitor to get this into the slipstream, and then in the end have an attack here at Rega.
Yeah, into Rega then after a fast flowing section of corners. You get into a tight twisty bit as you come into the GAC, and it really tightens up at the end.
Yeah, this is a very lovely section here, Cloten S. Easy to make contact with the guys here because sometimes you think, okay, maybe I can, get through on the inside, but usually it's not enough space. So just be careful there. Don't hit the back of the other cars, and try to make a pass into turn 1.
Yeah, and then you head back through the circle and over the start line, which starts on the bend of the circle. So a very tricky start line. It's not just the straight line and go. You are kind of forming on a bend, aren't you? So it's difficult to see who's got a good start ahead of you.
Yeah, it's actually a bit of a funny name, right? Circle straight, so it's always in a bend, really. You need to be careful because sometimes, as we saw in this knockout section as well, the guys were sometimes a bit too early and they were bumping into the side of the wall at the apex. So this is where I think Yannick was caught up.
And Nico Farland was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes you believe when you're driving there, not sure if you had a run on it, you believe, okay, the corner is actually tightening, but you do it too early.
Yeah.
And then you need to open the steering wheel once again.
And another feature of this circuit, obviously it's a runway, it's an airfield, it's very bumpy.
Yeah, I mean, if you make it flat, it feels not like a real track, right? So there are a lot of bumps. There are some tricky bumps.
Yeah.
But if you know where they are, you know how to manage your car, right?
This is something I wanted to ask you. Obviously, Silverstone's an old airfield.
Yeah.
And over the years, it's had many modifications. Yeah. It's been relayed many a time to sort of make it as smooth as possible. You compare the two. Silverstone, yes, it's still a bumpy circuit for an old airfield base. Mm. It seems to be smoothing it out over the years compared to this one. What are the two differences? Obviously, two airfields, two very different circuits.
I mean, this one has never been raced on, right? It was just out of the blue. The guys 2 years ago, I believe, they just designed the track. And I've seen the first version, actually, and this one had not many corners. So back then we had a driver working for Racing Unleashed. So he said, I mean, it's one thing going straight and with full speed, but it's another going through corners. So
yeah.
they had to add some corners, some more technical features. This is what they've done. I believe they also played around with those bumps. Yeah, I mean, it's not laser scanned, we can say that, because otherwise we have to close the airport, yeah. Right? Ask the yeah. Zurich government to give us half an hour or maybe more than that to scan the tracks. Yeah, I mean, in general, the drivers like the track. It's a very tricky track because it's such a long track, as you yeah. saw. It's 7.6 kilometers. So to hook it up and then be within a couple of tenths to the fastest drivers, it's very hard to do, actually. And we've seen that in pre-quali as well, but during the whole time when the guys were actually training, the top guys are very close to each yeah. other. And on a track that's so long, that's hats off from me.
Hats off as well. The track has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's got the fast corners, you know, where you're flat out, you're not even lifting off the throttle. That's making the car do one thing. Then you've got the tighter corners where the car's doing other things. So really, the car is getting a real workout of all aspects of a track here.
Yeah, that was the goal. Maybe in hindsight, you could say the track is a bit too long. But in the end, it's what we have at the moment. I think it's great. It's great for racing. The guys love it. So all in all, I would say it's 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 from Fabio. As the Zurich Airport Circuit, our home track, and what a track it is. So then, some replays here in the knockout session, and Sylvain Preiss. Early in the session, not sure what happened to him here because I believe it glitched. Then,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So
we've just been told in our ear, ladies and gentlemen, this is a safety car and a crash. This is then what caused what we saw on the stream of no drivers behind the safety car bar the leader. So that was Preiss going into the back of Prax.
Yeah, this shouldn't happen. It can happen. And in the end, you know, the guys were able to recover their position, so no problem at all. I mean, it happened quite early on the circuit. So, yeah, little mistake there, maybe underestimated that the guy in front was braking that hard. But there's a lot happening in the back there, a huge queue there, very polite, actually.
Well done on not hitting each other, because that could have just been one after another. But is that why we didn't see Sylvain take qualifying? Because we saw his name behind the safety car on the list, and I don't remember seeing him out there on the track.
No, unfortunately, his simulator had an issue, so he had to back off, and they had to do a restart, and obviously then he can't take part in the session anymore. So maybe they switched the sims now also in Kemptal so that he can at least drive the race.
Well, it worked for Nico Farland.
You work for him, yeah. Maybe it's, you know.
Let's see what happens. While we wait for some other replays, then just talk us through this track. Obviously, you've raced it, as we've just mentioned. As a driver, from a driver's point of view, what do you look forward to at this circuit? Because it is like no other. There is no other track on the Canada. We'll get into the quick replay a second. We'll get back to that question. Right. Fabio Schlegel, lap 3.
Have some time to think.
A car to the left, a car to the right. I believe this is the Nico Farland, Yannick Pletcher one you was on about a moment ago.
Yes.
So Pletcher and Farland have got through. Bit of bumping. Big wiggle from Yannick.
So Nico is then going into the wall there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So Nico bounces off the wall, which
Then
catches
it's a spinner.
Schlegel, which catches Yannick.
Yeah, so in this case, actually, okay, Nico touched the wall. For Yannick, it was actually the worst possible outcome because he was the only guy who was actually facing backwards.
Yes.
So he had to turn around, maybe wait for some traffic. So he lost a lot of time, but still managed to finish in P5.
And when you think of Yannick and Nico caught up in that incident there, Fabio Schlegel himself finished P14.
Yep.
For Yannick and Nico Farland there, first and fifth. As we see then, Yannick look up the inside. Great move up the inside. Great move from Farland around the outside as well.
So,
and then it was Schlegel and Yannick that
Schlegel
looked
is maybe getting sandwiched a little bit, but this shouldn't happen here.
It's that second
And
bit of contact.
that was just bad luck in the end, that he got hit by Farland, right? But in the end, you could say the second touch of Schlegel and Yannick shouldn't happen.
Will race control be looking at the second touch?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Yannick got into the wall there. So, and Yannick, I believe, left enough space. So probably they will look at it. I mean, for sure they will look at it. And the issue is Schlegel has 18 points on his roster. 15 or 18?
I think Ramsey was 18. I think
Okay.
Schlegel
No, it was
15.
Ramsey at 15, I believe.
Right, so Schlegel 18. So, yeah, that there possibly...
So if it's a two-place grip penalty, which is 5 penalty points on his roster, he's at 23, right?
Yeah.
So he needs a clean race, but he's on 20. So if that's a penalty, he actually has a knockout.
So one penalty for Preuss in this knockout session is a straight-up knockout penalty for Monza
Schlegel,
because of the fact he'll be on 20 points.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's a penalty, then he's out for the next knockout.
Ramsey and Lorenzo Haider there.
Yeah.
You see Ramsey touch the back of the car in front, which kind of puts him into a spin, and Lorenzo Haider just finishes the job.
Yep.
Did Lorenzo Haider see that? Was he too close to react to that?
I mean, let's see from the onboard or from another angle. But I believe what race control is looking at here, in the case of Lorenzo, is did he brake?
He's very close. You've just seen his front wing
Yeah,
there.
he's close, but he's braking actually. So he's trying to avoid.
Yeah, so
but he's just so close, and in the end,
It's this
it's like,
corner here. So Ramsey's tapped him.
They will look at that.
Yeah. But will they... Your point of view, you're sat in the race control seat at the moment.
Yep.
Do you put the blame there at Mohamed Ramsey and give Lorenzo Haider maybe the benefit of the doubt? He's...
The issue here is that Ramsey actually had an incident in the front, right? So it was... Lorenzo couldn't expect it.
So this is Lorenzo's point of view. So he's pretty close coming into the right-hander here.
He has actually his brother in the back there. So
Great.
he has a lot of things going on in his back. So maybe he was watching. And now he puts on the brakes. He puts on the brakes, right? So maybe just wrong timing. But in the end, it's important for race control to see whether the drivers were reacting to what was happening in the front. If they would just, go on the throttle and like nothing ever happened, then it would be an issue.
The hard thing there is he does brake. Will the car in time react to avoid Ramsey?
Yeah.
Ramsey clearly hits the back of I think it was Prax in front.
Possibly.
So they'll probably look at the Ramsey incident. We saw ourselves that Lorenzo Haider hit the brakes. Surely race control have to kind of at some point you have to give the benefit to the driver.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, sometimes you're looking at what's happening in the back. So his brother was behind him. Yeah. Maybe he was looking, okay, is he on the outside? Is he not? So he was looking maybe in his rear mirror, and that's when the incident in the front happened. So, but of course, race control can't check that. Yeah. But still, they will look at his reactions if he tried to avoid the accident or not.
Well, two drivers in Madrid. It's Borja Zarzo and Marcus Valverde, both, I believe, the red cars. And that's what you was on about earlier. Valverde's just at a gap that he can't really... he's half on the curb. Half the car is on the curb.
It was closer than I thought here. Let's see if there is a car's width.
No, I believe that's Michael Waversick there passing at the time.
Exactly. So. Yeah, but this is Valverde here. So Borja is coming from the outside. I mean...
Yeah.
He's jumping, right? So
is that why his facial expression was, I've made a mistake? Does he feel that... I've bounced off the curb into Borja there.
I mean, yeah, it looked like it, right? I mean, I can't really say it for Marcos, if he's angry about himself here, or maybe also about Borja's behavior, right? I mean, Borja has an incident already.
Yeah, he's just tapped waiver sick in the
so
rear.
he's going through both of them, but he's not at the apex, so he knows that there is a car, so he leaves that space.
It's the bounce off the curb, isn't it, that's put Valverde into the side of Zaza?
Yeah, it's the bounce at the end, right? So because he's getting some air there and has no control.
Just
actually.
here, look.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's exactly the point where he loses the car control. So there's no grip on the front end here. But you see also the angle here. It's a bit tricky. Maybe he should have slowed down even more to make the corner. So.
Yeah. You see the front end of the car there, it was pointing straight in towards Borja Zaza and not following the corner. So Valverde, again, maybe that was his expression. I know I've done wrong here. That was my mistake. I should have backed out.
Yeah, we can't speak for him actually. No. So, in the end, we'll see what Race Control decides. He's finished in P11?
P11, yeah.
P11, right? So maybe a penalty coming his way, but in the end, nothing really happened here. So maybe also there is no
He
penalty.
actually came off worse there, didn't he?
Yeah, he came off worse. So I guess that's already penalty enough for him.
Yeah, especially considering that his championship rivals, at the front of the grid, it's going to be one that he's got to look at. Clearly disappointed, but we've seen him come from the back of the grid once before. This is Adrian Gomez then, and again, Borja Zazo. So I imagine Zazo is behind him. We're coming through the fast left-hander. He's gone over the bumps.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to Borja? Borja is getting through those incidents very smoothly at the moment.
Been bouncing off. His car must be made of rubber because he's bounced off and carried on his way.
I mean, the thing is, he actually underestimated the dirty air there. He's right behind the car in front, and now he loses it. Yeah, understeer, comes back to the track. Borja has nowhere to go because that's a high-speed corner right there.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
No, tell me.
Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve.
Where?
I can't tell you the track. in 97 in Jerez, and Murray Walker said, or Martin Brundle might have said on the English commentary, you can't hit him there, Michael.
This one, you mean the
where Michael ends up in the gravel trap.
Championship deciding. It's completely different, no?
It's similar. He's hit him in the wrong place, and Zarzo's kept going. That's what I mean. Schumacher's hit Villeneuve's managed to carry on.
But it's like Gomez wasn't actually trying to overtake Borja, right? So, I mean, this is a clear case. Too much dirty air on the
Too much dirty air. Didn't seem slow down off the track.
Slow down, wanted to come back without,
The problem is, as well, he's going over them sausage curbs. He's going over the bumps. He's barely going to slow the car down as the car hits.
It's game over. If you go over the sausage curbs, it's game over.
Hyder brothers, then.
Ooh, yeah.
You wouldn't want to be at the Sunday dinner table for this one if they've... I'd avoid lunch on Sunday in the Hyder family household because...
They're actually sharing the car together tonight. So they came here with the same car. I mean, it could have been worse. Let's face it. It could have been worse. Obviously, it shouldn't happen between brothers, but we saw it with Ralph and Michael. It can happen.
At this point, though, they're first and second. And if you look at the little track map, they've got a good gap back to Ramsey in third.
True.
And this happens. And then they both made a mistake at the end of the race. If Joshua is driving home, Lorenzo might be walking.
Potentially.
Depends on what happens in the race.
Would actually be nice to talk to them about that particular incident. They still love each other. Come on.
Oh, of course.
Obviously. I mean, they're drivers, but in the end, they're brothers. Maybe they laugh about it now already. Who knows? They're focusing on the race.
I'd have never forgiven my brother if he did that to me.
Yeah, true. But the thing is, like, Lorenzo is definitely getting a penalty for that. So he's not starting P4.
No,
or P3, whatever.
That'll be at least a two-place grid
penalty. At least a two-place,
which kind of ruins a good day for them because we've not seen them for the last couple of races. Obviously,
they've missed the last one.
Yeah. Did they miss one before as well, I think?
No, they just had some bad races, I believe. That's why we didn't see them in the front where they actually belong. So
they've bounced back.
Yeah. Shouldn't happen. I mean, They know it. We don't have to tell them.
What do you say? What did they normally say in racing? You say the one person you don't take out is your teammate. There is no teammates at Race Unleashed. So the one person you don't take out
is your brother.
Is your brother.
Yeah.
Interesting one. Race Control have obviously got to treat it as an incident.
Yeah.
They've got to look at it. They've got to investigate it. They will do. They'll give Lorenzo a penalty accordingly. So even though he tapped the back of Ramsey, and we reckon that was he did brake and he slowed down, he's possibly still going to get a penalty because of the tap with Joshua. So that is all for the replays. We'll take a look at the recap very shortly. Thumbs up all around from all of our Racing Unleashed experts here and everybody from all the lounges across Zurich, Munich and Madrid, Calm, Kemptall, the airport, wherever the lounge is, it's thumbs up all around, no doubt, from our Racing Unleashed experts. Recap time, though, here at Racing Unleashed for the Challenger League. And, does this mean we get to recap? I wonder if we get to recap Racer League from last year tomorrow.
Challenger League.
Yeah, but tomorrow. Oh, rush hour could be fun tomorrow, couldn't it?
Let's see. I hope they don't show that.
Should have saved my little stat for my little fact for tomorrow, though. So we have got recaps coming up, though, of the Challenger League at Zurich Airport last time out.
And hold on to everything that might be loose-fitting about your person as we go racing. This is Racing Unleashed. We're on board with Ciro Zambra then, who's under pressure right from the start of this race and losing out his P6 to P7 potentially here. You can see every driver jostling for position as they go into turn number 1. This is almost like a hairpin, and it is absolutely brilliant. Thomas Herzog going, of course, from that P1 position. What he needs to do is hope that everyone behind battles hard so that he can escape up the road. Thomas Herzog now under real pressure here from Ciro Zambra. Surely it's a question of when, not if, Ciro Zambra goes through, and just as we mentioned it, so he does. So Thomas Herzog relegated to P3, Ciro Zambra now up to P2. Borja Zazo is virtually welded to the back of Fabian Mayer. So he's got the pace. Where can he make the move? He dives to the inside. Racing room is left by Fabian Mayer, who of course will have the inside for the next turn, which is advantageous and means that he can hold on to that position just for the moment. But Borja Zazo, by keeping it around the outside, that gives him the inside for the next turn, and therefore Borja does go through on Fabian Mayer. So Ciro Zambra, another one of these drivers that looks really cool and stress-free inside the Formula Hybrid Evo X 2022 simulator. Feeling rather more pressured, I would suggest, is Joshua Hader, who we're on board with now as Ciro Zambra puts the car to the inside. So, carrying as much speed as they possibly can, they go absolutely side by side. King of the late breakers, Ciro Zambra. Well, Joshua Hader holding on to this, but Ciro Zambra does go through. So we're on board with Thomas Herzog, and you can see how Nico Farland dives to the outside. It's a long way around the outside, but if he can remain in this position, it'll give him the inside for the next turn. And he then tries to make the car a bit wide, and into the battle comes Lorenzo Hader as well. So Nico Farland goes through. Thomas Herzog now relegated to P5. We ride on board with Thomas Herzog now. 2 laps, or 1 lap, plus the remainder of this lap remaining for our drivers in the Challenger League. Here's Sinan Demirbaş to the outside of Thomas Herzog again. King of the late breakers around the outside, tries to go Marcus Valverde in the battle that's going on behind. But Miguel Frey holds on to that. Now Marcus Valverde has got Yannick Pletcher coming back at him. Yannick Pletcher all the way around the outside here. And this would be a brilliant move by Yannick Pletcher if he can make it work. And he does. Not quite. Because Marcus Valverde, and there was a little touch from Yannick Pletcher on Marcus Valverde. Absolutely not Valverde's fault. This means that Joshua Hader then inherits the victory. Why does he inherit the victory? Why is he so happy? It's because Ciro Zambra, as you can see, picks up a penalty which relegates him to P3. David Seed now P2. Joshua Hader, the winner then. Confirmation of that. Also picking up penalties, the likes of Yannick Schmidt, Marcus Valverde and Valentin Georgiev. So what does that mean? It means there is just 1 point between David Seed and Ciro Zambra as we head into the final event event. It'll be round 10, of course, which comes up in Imola. So we are set for an Italian showdown in the Challenger League. Taking P3, perhaps not what Ciro expected or wanted, but it is what it is. What a truly humble young man, I have to say, as he collects his award. Well done, David Seed. Here comes our race winner then, who receives the handshake and receives the medal. And the Hayder family always celebrate in fine style, and many, many congratulations to Joshua Hayder then. This is Racing Unleashed, Beyond the Pinnacle.
Well then, will the Hayder family be celebrating in style today? Joshua took the win last time out. He will be starting P3, we are but told. He is in a good position to take the race win.
Joshua?
Yeah.
He has the speed. He was top 3, I believe, in the qualifications. But Folland, Ramsey, they're quick.
Quick guys, take nothing away from them. We have been told in that little clip that we showed you just there, we have got grid penalties to tell you about. So Andreas Prax, who was P8 provisionally, he will get a 2-place grid penalty to his name. Fabio Schlegel, who was 14th across the line, he as well has got a 2-place grid penalty. That giving him the points he needs to take him to 23 points. Walter Troninger, qualified P13 provisionally. He's got a 4-place grid penalty to his name. I didn't actually see if Walter was on any points, but that's because that's 10 to his name. So he's got to have a good race.
Yeah, definitely.
Lorenzo Hayder, P4. He has dropped 2 places. 2-place grid penalty, we believe, for hitting into his brother. Adrian Gomez, P10. He as well has a 2-place grid penalty. And this will bring a smile to possibly Marcus Valverde and definitely Nico Farland. Yannick Pletcher, a 2-place grid penalty, dropping him from 5th down the order, making his job a little harder, but putting him closer to Valverde, because Valverde is going to be bumped up possibly there, a couple. So look, Pletcher and Valverde close together, and Farland's at the front of the grid.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, right? And also how Yannick copes with that penalty. But still, he had some penalties in the past. Yannick is quick. I mean, he's a championship leader. He knows what to do. This time round, he needs to be maybe a bit more careful, not to get more penalties at the end of the race, potentially, reaching that 20 in the end at some point. But we don't hope that for him. It's going to be an interesting race. I hope it's going to be cleaner.
Yeah.
Not so many incidents. We have the quick guys now in the front. We have Lorenzo coming from P6
I do believe,
now.
yeah.
Okay, that's not too far away from his brother, so they need to be careful not to bump into each other once again. And then Yannick and, as you said, Marcos coming from P9 then.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. No, Marcus coming from P11, possibly P10.
Okay.
If I've worked everything out, like potentially P10, maybe P9, we'll see. But I think he's P10 at the moment. So him P10, Yannick I do believe will be down in P7. So we'll be able to see Yannick Pletcher on the grid with Valverde. What that does do as well is, Torlacci's tied on points with Valverde at the moment this season. He'll be promoted a couple of spots up the grid.
Yeah.
So a chance for Torlacci to maybe do something.
Yeah, I saw it with Torlacci this knockout that he doesn't really like to be behind some other guys. He had some issues overtaking them, but nevertheless he's up there. He's 4th in the championship, so never count him out. Maybe he can play a role in the race win or either the podiums. I'm just very excited. I want to get going.
Who do you say is a race winner?
That question again.
Yeah. Every Russian.
I believe this time round, Nico Farland.
Nico.
Yeah.
He's not going to win. Another thing I wanted to say to you in Rush Hour, 4 winners in 4 races this season currently. And then if you go back to the prologue, which was Challenger League only,
it was Borja.
Borges won that one.
Yeah.
5 winners in 5 different Challenger League events this season. That's absolutely fantastic. It just shows how close these drivers are. And again, testament then to Nico for being second in the championship, not having won a race at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, Mr. Consistent, right? Always up there. I think worst place was P4?
Yeah, I believe he's not been out the top 5 all season.
Something like that. So he really wants to get that win. Obviously, it would be good for his soul in the end to get that win finally. But in the end, for him, as he said, right, he just wants to be consistent right through the end of the season and then see where it leads him.
Well, here's one for you. if Yannick Pletcher finishes 4th or worse and Nico Farland wins the race, then Nico Farland will lead the championship.
Is that so? Interesting. So who's your winner then for today?
Who's my winner?
Yeah.
You've gone with Nico Farland. I don't like to say the same driver, so I'm going to go Joshua Hader.
Interesting. Yeah.
So apologies to them too, because commentators' curse is a real thing.
Selfies taking in front of garages are actually a thing nowadays. I heard that.
Yeah.
Did you see actually the picture of McLaren that they put in front of their garage?
No.
No Rosberg selfie zone or something.
Oh, because you think it's bad luck?
Yeah, he jinxed it, right?
Yeah.
Always.
Well, there we go then. So maybe it's not the commentator's curse anymore. Maybe it's taking selfies in front of the simulators.
Yes.
Well, hopefully Joshua and Nico haven't taken any selfies and they can get the good start as well. Keep your eyes out for Mohammed Ramsey, because he's going to be one to watch from the start of Munich 1-2.
Yeah. Who knows?
This is going to be interesting to see. Fabio, thank you once again. We'll speak to you a little later on after the race starts, as that is all we have time for Rush Hour. We're about to go racing.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it is green and go. It's a good start from Rock already. They make contact. Absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission at the moment. Right into the gravel. So what's happened up front? Oh, it's chaos. Can't overtake, he said. Little Augustin Torlacci, a very happy Marquez on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on the virtual grid where the drivers are sat in their simulators. And this man, Robin Doney, is going to be coming from 19th place on the grid in our simulator in Calm. Zurich Camptal for Andreas Koch. He as well on a knockout qualifying band. So he'll be coming from 18th place. Walter Treuninger demoted to 17th in our lounge in Munich. And I believe we can speak with Walter now. Walter, good evening. What can you do from 17th on the grid?
Just wait if I have a chance to get in a further position in front, and let's see. I have to wait for some luck.
Points on your mind today? Can you get some points?
No, I don't think so. That would be very unlikely. But let's see. Never say never. Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck, Walter. Give it your best.
That's what I do. Thanks.
Fabio Schlegel then, P16 in Zurich, will be lining up alongside him. Before it is Sylvain Preuss just in front in Zurich. And so back-to-back Swiss drivers in our Zurich Camptal lounge lining up 15th and 16th place then. Before we head to Madrid, it's Roberto Miguez in P14, and more importantly, in that lucky green simulator that's won the last 2 Challenger League races. Can it win from 14th on the grid today? I believe we can hear, I got an echo in my ear, I believe we can speak with Daniel Stanic. Daniel, 13th on the grid, points not far away.
Oh yes, but I want to win.
Yes. What can you do at the start of the race?
Oh, I don't know. We will see.
Well, best luck on your first Racing Unleashed race start.
Thank you.
Daniel Stanic there then in 13th place. Adrian Gomez, P12, as he gets ready to go in this one from Madrid in the other simulator today. And then it's Michael Waversick just in front of him. And we can speak with Michael Waversick now. Michael, we've got your name right finally. You're starting P11. How do you feel for the race?
Yes, thank you, Matthew. First of all, I want to thank you. Really, you exercised my name pretty well, and you're doing a wonderful job. So first, for me, it is just in the middle of the field, but I think it's going to be pretty hard. Some guys are a little bit more faster than me, but okay, we will see. Yeah, sometimes you're a little bit lucky, and I hope that I don't have to fall at the end of the field. Just it was in the last 2 races, but we see it's a great fun. So I enjoy it very much.
Well, Michael, best of luck in the race.
Thank you very much.
As Michael Waversick then P11. Andreas Prax P10 inside the points. Can he get some points in Calm today then for them? Can he take a podium or a race win? Before Marcus Valverde seems to have moved himself up to P9 due to other penalties. He's inside the top 10. A bit of a better result than what he was possibly hoping for Marcus Valverde today. Then he's going to come from P9, meaning he's right behind Yannick Pletcher in the start of this race. Yannick will be right in front. Marcus, P9 at the end of that. You've got Yannick Pletcher right in front of you.
Yeah, I will try to make the best of it. So I hope for a nice battle with Yannick, of course.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Marcus. Hope you get a good result.
Thank you, Mathew.
Mario Stanek lining up P8 in our Zurich Kemptal Lounge. Before our championship leader is P7. Now, Yannick Pletcher will know that Marcus Valverde is right behind him. And Yannick, a big smile on his face. We can speak with Yannick now. Yannick, P7 on the grid. What can you do from P7?
It's good. I mean, it's not a bad result, but yeah, Nico Folland is right in front of me, in P1. Really good result for him. But yeah, I think we can move onward from that place, P7.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Yannick. On your granddad's birthday as well, try and bring home the win. And
yes.
The coolest man in the Racing Unleashed simulators will be able to try and take home some good points today. Lorenzo Hayder is I believe, focused there. Hopefully he's not fell asleep on his steering wheel. Then before Augustin Torlacci is P5 in Madrid. He's moved up quite a lot at the moment. Borja Zorzo will go from P4 from Madrid. Borja then our prologue winner. Joshua Hayder is in P3. Joshua, 3rd place. Can you get the win?
I hope so. Yeah, I try. So I think Nico and Mohamed is in P2, I think. Yeah. They are very fast, and especially Nico, he's had a great pace, so it's could be fun.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Joshua.
Thank you, mate.
He'll be lining up P3. Mohamed Ramsey, P2 then in our Munich lounge. What can he do there? Front row start for Munich today. They've locked out the front row before Nico Forland, your pole sitter in this one. Then he hasn't won a race this season. Mr. Consistent. Can he get the job done today? That then is your starting grid then as we come around in the virtual studio. We'll bring the list up one more time so you can see it once again, all in order at the side of your screen momentarily then. So Nico Forland going from P1. Yannick Pletcher, hopeful of a good result, he said there, as we also spoke with Walter Troniger and Michael Waversick in the interviews on the grid then. So as we pan around now, there is your grid order once again. It's Nico Forland from Mohamed Ramsey on row 1. Row 2 is Joshua Hayder, Borja Zorzo. Row 3, Augustin Torlacci and Lorenzo Hayder. Row 4, Yannick Pletcher, Mario Stanek. Right behind Pletcher is Valverde in P9. Waversick, P11. Gomez, P12. Daniel Stanek, P13. Roberto Miguez, 14th place. Sylvain Preuss, Schlegel, Troninger, Andreas Koch and Robin Doney. Coming from the back of the grid after serving their knockout bands then. So the drivers are all in their simulators. They'll be put onto their grid spots and getting ready to go. There they all are now. And this is what I said to Fabio in the rush hour. Look at the start line there. Some of the drivers at the back of the pack can't even see where P1 is. So it's a very difficult start line here, or start curve, if you will, as the drivers get ready to get underway. Who is going to win in this race? It's going to be a fantastic one to keep our eyes on. It's going to be a fantastic one to watch unfold at the moment as the drivers prepare for the race. That is the view from Prax in 13th place, and he's on that outside line, the white car with the red wing mirrors, and you just see the curve where the drivers just cannot see a thing in front of them. And it is going to be super, super tough for these drivers. The revs rise now, though. We're about to go green here at Zurich Airport. There's a massive jump start from a driver in the background. Not sure who that is, but we are for race 5, Challenger League. Green and go here at Zurich Airport Circuit. Somebody has jumped the start an absolute mile, and it is a good start though from Nico Farland and from Joshua Hader, who is already up into P2. And you'll never believe who's jumped the start. It's Yannick Pletcher. He's jumped the start and he's well off into the distance. That is going to hurt him in this championship. Hader by side with Farland going into the first couple of corners, and you kind of tell that Yannick knows he's jumped the start there, and that is Mohamed Ramzi who's had a spin and gone round. So I'm not sure what happened to Yannick Pletcher there. Mario Stanek just clipping the gravel on the outside. He's gone a little wide and has let a couple of cars through. There's already gaps starting to form in that midfield. Ramsey's down in 14th. He's going to have a look on the outside of Koch. Can't get it done though into the right. Left-hander, it really tins up. And Andreas just up front had a little wiggle. Back on board Mario Stanek, then 50-lap race. Yannick Pletcher's got a 10-second lead. No, not done that from the start. Huge slide from Schlegel there. He's held on to it well. Stanek now, though, can get a look up the inside into the right-hander. And indeed he does. Joshua Hader has dropped down to 4th place. He's behind his brother Lorenzo. So Lorenzo's had an absolutely fantastic start. Obviously, this is net P3 here because there's no way Yannick Pletcher will keep that race lead. Push to pass has already been used by Nico Farland and Joshua Hader and Borja Zarzo. So a great battle at the moment as Zarzo pulls out on Hader. He's going to look towards the inside line of the left-hander over the bumps. Looking, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Little bit of contact maybe there, and he has to back out of it, does Borja Zarzo. He knows he's on the outside line there. Couple of laps for Joshua Hader's push to pass. Already used. Lorenzo Hader hasn't used a single lap at the moment so far. Interesting to keep your eyes on. It's a lot more clear for you viewers at home as well to see the push to pass being activated now. As Waversick goes up to P15, as does Gomez. So Bruce has dropped down a couple of places. Torlachi's down in 19th place. So what has happened to Augustin Torlachi, another one of the championship contenders, at the back of the pack. Mohamed Ramzi here then. P12 at the moment. And after a spin early on, he's got pace to get back through. Prax there just looking a little all over the place through the circle bend. As Borja Zarzo P5, 7/10 off the back of Joshua Hader at the moment, and he's really flying onto the back of him here. Valverde's on the back of Schlegel by 2/10. Ramsey did get past Prax, back into 11th place at the moment as Troninger gets past Bruce for 17th place. Yannick Pletcher, what will it be? Will race control give him the drive through in the race? Not sure what happens from here, or will it be a penalty at the end? So Marcus Valverde then is all over the back of that is Schlegel, who had a poor run through the S's, and now Valverde, it comes through. He's on the outside line. Is Stanek still there? He is. Valverde just gives him well, he gives him a room. I say just keeps it within the track. He was nearly in the ground himself. Job done though for Valverde. And Torlachi 1.2 off the bat now. What has happened to him in the start of this race? He's 19th place. So at the moment, Yannick Pletcher, who's got a 10-second lead, will have 3 laps to do a drive-through penalty, I've been told. And he then will be going towards, well, I don't know how long the pit lane is here at Zurich, but that'll demote him possibly out the points. For Torlachi here, he's already 31 seconds off the lead, or 21 seconds off the lead, should I say. Gomez on the back of Stanek. This for P12 and 13. Gets a good run. Pulls to the outside line. Well, he doesn't need to make sure he's got the inside. That was surely felt like a bit of push to pass use there. The momentum he had, absolutely staggering. And that is a good move from Gomez. Down into P13 as Troy goes up to 14th place. He's just got himself past Waversick. Torlachi now gets past Koch, as does Bruce. So that is a place for Torlachi in this race. Yannick's in. Drive-through penalty for Yannick Pletcher, who sets the fastest lap in the pit lane, apparently. Hopefully he's not been done for speeding in the... not the birthday he'd wanted to give his granddad at the moment. So Nico Farland leads this race. Lorenzo Hader is P2. Joshua Hader should be in P3. Borja Zarzo's P4. Did Yannick come out P5 there? That is... well, I'll tell you what, if he has... no. Yeah, he has. He's P5 for Borja Zarzo, so he's not actually lost a lot of places there as Yannick Pletcher. So the fact he knew he jumped the start, he committed to it. He's come out P5. So for Torlachi, his 3 championship rivals are 8th, 5th and 1st, but for Nico Farland, he's doing everything he needs to do. Lorenzo Hader still hasn't used push to pass. He's still within 2.2 seconds. We're watching Robin Doney, though, on the back of Waversick for 15th and 16th place. And the Swiss driver in calm. Tries to have a look up the inside. Does he? No, he's gone to the outside. Waversik's defended that inside line, which is then going to become the outside line for the next corner. And Waversik, who's that wide? That is Stanek. Yep, Daniel Stanek into the gravel. And we've seen a couple of cars lose it there in the knockout sessions. That gives Torlachi 16th place now. So he's trying to make his way up the order, and he's on the back of Waversik. He's within 9/10 of a second already. Gaps to the leaders out front's pretty stout. It is Mario Stanek in P7, who is in the closest fight at the minute with Roberto Miguez here. That is just under half a second, and there is Mario Stanek trying to fight his way towards the front again on the back of Miguez, as they then have Yannick Pletcher. This though is Torlachi looking up the inside of Michael Waversik, and he's going now to be on the outside of Michael Waversik later on the brakes. Easy as you like for Augustin Torlachi. That is another place at the moment. He's been fantastic so far. Not sure what happened at the start, but he's flew up the order so far in this race. Doney next on track for him, and he's tried to hunt down Walter Troninger. Personal best laps coming in for Borges, Arzo, Valverde, Schlegel, Ramsey. As this is Valverde on the back of Mario Stanek and Roberto Miguez. So Stanek was catching Miguez, he's took Valverde with him. And this to put Valverde into that play spot will then mean that he's 3 seconds off the back of Yannick Pletcher as Stanek looks around the outside. He's just outbraked himself, manages though to hold it, has the inside for the next part of the track, does very well, managed to keep that position. A wiggle there for Valverde in the dirty air. That is Miguez running wide, giving Valverde an opportunity up the inside. Tightens up for the second part. P7, Valverde up another one. Ramsey's moved up to P9 as well. So Stanek and Valverde getting past Miguez there within a couple of corners. He's lost 2 places already as Pletcher, after his drive-through penalties, within half a second of Borges Arzo. Marcus Valverde here though, as Stanek goes a little deep there. Valverde gets the apex of the corner and just closes that gap once more. And he's just patiently getting on the back of Stanek here. Gomez moves inside the top 10 now. As Troninger, Doney, Torlachi have got past Prax and Schlegel. Valverde though goes up the inside on the exit of Mario Stanek. Great move from Valverde. He's up to P6, and he can head after now the championship leader in Yannick Pletcher. And what did I say to Fabio in the rush hour programme? Yannick Pletcher's got to finish 4th or better, so 5th or worse means that if Nico Farland wins the race, he'll lead the championship in this one. So at the minute, Nico Farland doing everything he needs to do, and Pletcher needs to make sure he gets himself ahead of Borges Arzo. Valverde has been re-overtaken by Stanek and is now looking for a way through once again. He comes to the tight section, looking to get the switchback. Not close enough to do so there. Ramsey tried to gain on these drivers as well. So Torlachi now up to 13th place on the back of Doney, as Valverde is going to go wide berth, tucks back underneath of Stanek. Valverde has to get off the power there as Stanek chops the nose off of Valverde. Good run through turn 1 into turn 2. You see a massive bump in a minute there just as they come under the bridge. Luckily enough, it's not in a braking zone to put the drivers off. Here is Mario Stanek doing a fantastic defensive job. As he runs a little wide, just clips the gravel on the outside. That unsettles the car. That'll lose him some momentum. Where now is Marcus Valverde? Surely he's alongside. No, he's not. So he didn't obviously get the best of runs through RU1 and R2 as well. Down to Regazzoni we go now. Marcus Valverde, not close enough where the dirty air is going to affect him too much. Here's your race leader. 2.3 clear of Lorenzo Hayder. Only used 2 laps of push to pass. Well, whatever stress he had after gear up, it all went away after knockout, and he is stress-free at the moment. What the others in Munich may want to pass on, if they can, is that Lorenzo Hayder has 1 extra lap of push to pass in him. Fabio Schlegel was a bit slow through the S's there. He's down in 17th place. So I'm not sure what's happened to Schlegel here. He's got Proust just in front of him, and Stanek and Waversik as well. He outbraked himself, I've just been told, so he's missed his braking a little bit. As Proust in front misses his braking, he's got a little deep, touches the gravel. Well, Schlegel doesn't need an easier invitation to that one. He'll take P16 places. Doney gets past Troninger. He's having a battle. There is Preuss. A little smirk. Hello, where have you come from? Sneaky round the outside, looks up the inside. I believe that is Schlegel. having now a battle with Koch. So the 3 Keptol drivers. Well, there's Prax in the background as well. He wants to join this little battle. Good little fight going off here in Switzerland at the moment. Oh, so I've just been shown here that Yannick Pletcher, even though has served his drive-through penalty, could still be under investigation by the race control at the end of this one. So that is an interesting one to keep an eye on with Yannick Pletcher. So not only has he done his drive-through, he's got to hope the race control don't disqualify. Speaking of Yannick Pletcher, that is as easy as you like. But he's now on the outside line. Borges-Orzo is not on the inside. Yannick Pletcher making it look absolutely super cool. Borges-Orzo runs into the gravel and still carries on his way like nothing's happened to him. At the minute, Yannick Pletcher running P4, but after finding out that piece of information, that could be costly in his championship battle, because that would give Nico Forlan the championship lead. If Yannick finishes 7th, 8th or worse, and Marcus Valverde wins the race, Valverde will lead the championship, depending on what Nico Forlan does. But at the minute, Valverde is only P7 and Nico Forlan is way out in front. But Valverde has just got past Stanek as we're on about him to P6. Stanek, though, is he going to look to send one up the inside? Valverde gives him the room. It's a flat through the left. Break now for the right. You're not going to send it around the outside there. Valverde, where he bounced off the curb into Borges-Orzo in knockout. This time doesn't take as much and makes the move stick on Mario Stanek. Gomez up to P8 ahead of Miguez then. Miguez drops down to P10. Torlachi still in 13th place, and Stanek looking to come back on Valverde here. Can't get the move done. Valverde now looks like he's about to pull away just a little bit. What I have noticed is Gomez and Doney and Prax are the only two that have used quite a lot of push to pass. A lot of drivers are saving their push to pass here. 6 laps still for quite a lot of drivers and 7 for a couple. Ramsey and Lorenzo Hayder still with 7. As Pletcher has dropped Borges-Orzo, a second gap already. It's 3.3 off the back of Joshua Hayder. And I have to say, he is one of the coolest looking characters in a cockpit, as there is Yannick's father and grandfather. Watching on with Christoph Holstein, race winner at the Racer League at Red Bull Ring. You'll see him out on the circuit tomorrow. Augustin Torlachi, P12 at the moment. Gaining on the back of Robin Doney now. Another man that looks as cool as he can be. Through RU1 and RU2. Down towards the chicane. Torlachi looks like he wants to get a bit of momentum and a better run as they come down towards Regazzoni now then. He's closing indeed, but it's the dirty air through this part of the track that could affect Augustin Torlachi. And in fact, he actually lost a bit of time, so did he have a little lift at some point? Lorenzo Hayder's used a lap of another usage of push to pass. So does Borges-Orzo, so does Mohamed Ramsey. Indicated when the number goes red, that is when they use push to pass. 8 seconds worth. And they have 8 usages. It's not 8 laps, it's 8 usages. So you can use all 8 on one lap if they really wish to. As Ramsey's using it to get on the back of Mario Stanek now. Been dropped by Valverde and been caught by Mohamed Ramsey. Into the tight last sector. Ramsey's not close enough at the moment to make a move as they head towards the circle area of the lap to finish another one. Not the best of runs at the exit of that last sector there for Mohamed Ramsey. That gap's just opened up a little bit. So Forlan at the minute, 2 seconds out from Lorenzo Hayder, who's got 1.2 to his brother Joshua, who's got 3.3 to Yannick Pletcher. Them top 4 are your top 4. Borges-Orzo P5. This is Robin Doney at the moment. On the back sleeve, Augustin Torlachi for P11. Torlachi a second faster last lap. He is flying at the minute, is Augustin Torlachi. So he must have got that move done not long ago, because he's now into 11th place, but he's got some 6.3 seconds to get on the back of Roberto Miguez. There is Doney then. In our lounge in calm. Trying to get some moves done here and trying to make sure he can make up as many places as possible, because he knows points could be on offer if Yannick Pletcher does get that disqualification. Roberto Miguez in the Lucky Green simulator. 2 wins on a bounce for that simulator in Madrid. It's P10 at the moment. It's got a lot of work to it. It needs 22 seconds if it's going to take a third race win on the bounce. So for Roberto Miguez here, though, he's trying to get Adrian Gomez of P9, his fellow Madrid driver. As Joshua Hader, I've just noticed, has crept onto the back of his brother here. That gap's on to 0.8 of a second then. The Schlegel's moved up to 16th. No, he hasn't. He's dropped back down to 17th. Preuss has got past Prax. But Preuss has used all of his push to pass. So, Lorenzo tapped Joshua in knockout. Joshua's now behind Lorenzo. What do these two discuss on their journey to the racing lounges? What do they discuss at home? Are team orders in play if one's quicker than the other? Do they let them through? Or are they racing for themselves? Obviously, no teams here at Racing Unleashed. It is purely independent drivers. So it's going to be interesting what conversations they have outside of the lounges. And two very different lines you saw in turn one there. Lorenzo a lot wider on exit compared to Joshua, who kept it a little tighter. Did Lorenzo make a mistake? So our mistake starting to creep into his game. And maybe just him starting to falter a little bit here. Later on in the race, we saw in the knockout session himself that he made that one mistake that cost him a front row start at this exact corner. So it's Farland 2.2. Now, fair play to Lorenzo and Joshua Hader. Joshua is absolutely flying because Lorenzo has got to be matching Nico Farland's pace. That gap has not changed since the start of this race. It is Joshua Hader that is closing. So I wonder if Joshua just has a bit more pace than the two out front, or is Nico Farland just controlling his pace at the moment? Mohamed Ramsey, we're on 0.4 off the back of Mario Stanek. That closes into the right-hander. Ramsey had a problem early on. We saw his car round. He's fighting his way back to the front. Still a fair few drivers with 6 or 5 laps of push to pass. And as I say that, Valverde and Stanek and Ramsey now go from 6 to 5 and 4. Ramsey used his a little later than Stanek, but because they've used theirs at the same time, they're going to be bouncing off the limiter here, meaning that they're not going to gain anything. And again, two different lines through that section of the circuit that Ramsey took to Stanek. Stanek using all the track, whereas Ramsey sticking to the middle of the road where needed. And that's actually benefited him. Just through there, he possibly caught the gravel on exit. Nico Farland now, as cool as you like at the minute, lost 0.2 to Lorenzo Hader. Excuse me, lost half a second to Joshua Hader. So Joshua Hader, 0.3 faster than his brother, is absolutely flying. Roberto Miguez now on the back of Gomez. Gomez has one use of push to pass left. And Miguez here, got to look for an opening. Got to find an opening. Not close enough to do that at the moment. God, just didn't want to get back on the power from there. You heard him just try and put it down before it gripped up and went under the bridge, over the bump and into the left-hander. Again, probably missed his apex here. Joshua Hader now 0.7 off the back of his brother. Went a little wide there, bounced off the curb a little bit through the left-hander, but keeps a nice tight line. You hear him on and off the throttle through the corner. Hurry up and wait to get the power back down. These corners are Ramsey now absolutely slinging it through the S's, and is really putting some pressure on Stanek now. He's got a lap extra of push to pass. Mohamed Ramsey all over the back of Stanek at the moment, really trying to come forward. A wave in the background from the support of Mohamed Ramsey there. Stanek little wide on exit. Ramsey looks good so far. Both use push to pass again, so just kind of cancelling each other out as they come down the straight. Ramsey though got such more momentum. Now comes around the outside. Great move. They don't touch. He's got the job done before the right-hander. Stanek got into a bit of a power slide. Well held there from him. But Mohamed Ramsey, job done. Got the momentum, just as I was saying that they've got to use the push to pass at the same time, and it won't matter. Mohamed Ramsey proves me wrong, and a fantastic move. But he's got a lot of work to catch Marcus Valverde now as Mario Stanek down to P8. He's got a good gap behind him so he can focus on re-catching Mohamed Ramsey here then. Here's Schlegel, P16, on the back of Waversick. Uses a push to pass now. Michael Waversick blocks the middle of the road and just leaves enough room to Fabio Schlegel there. And that is great to see, but Waversik's come back at him now to the outside. Oh, Schlegel has a bit of a wiggle there. He sort of, you started to see the car just oversteer a little bit. And unfortunately taps the side of Michael Waversik. Plenty of room was given, just too quick into the corner there for Fabio Schlegel. Stanek now moves into 17th ahead of Preuss. There is Michael Waversik. Comes down the start straight, P15 at the moment. Joshua Hader out front, still 7/10 of a second off the back of his brother. That gap extends an extra 10th as he uses push to pass. Nico Farland uses push to pass as well. So Lorenzo here has got 2 extra laps of push to pass. He's only 2.6 seconds behind. So we'll see what it does as Joshua now gets right onto the back of his brother Lorenzo. I'm sure this is the part of the circuit where Lorenzo tapped Joshua. Joshua doesn't return the favour here. He's wanting to find an opening. He knows he's quicker, but can't seem to find a way through on his brother at the moment. Again, Joshua just tighter lines than Lorenzo here. And is that doing him any good? Is that making him a little come off worse? Hard to tell. But he has used one push to pass more than Lorenzo. Yannick Pletcher hasn't really gained on these two either. 6/10 quicker on that last lap, Joshua to Lorenzo, and that was with usage of push to pass. Stanek still within a second of Mohamed Ramsey. That's really the closest fight on the circuit at the moment as Ramsey and Stanek go personal bests. 57.1 and a 57.4. He got close there, did Joshua. Well, the car ride home could be even more interesting if they make contact for a second time. Joshua Hader, though, is currently doing absolute bits. He's flying at the moment, just cannot get past his brother Lorenzo up front. And yet Pletcher's not gaining on these two either. He's dropped Borges also, but cannot gain on the top 3. Half a second in it between these two. Schlegel's on the back of Waversik. That's 3/10 of a second then down the order. So we'll see if that changes on the leaderboard. But it is Joshua Hader currently chasing Lorenzo Hader at the moment. Everybody a second plus from their next car. Although Valverde, actually, as I say that, has just dipped under a second to Borges also. So Valverde here looking for a couple of extra points, especially if Yannick Pletcher does possibly face further investigation by the stewards for that jump stop. Then then Valverde gaining an extra place could do his championship, could keep a championship fight. Schlegel looking to the outside of Waversik. Tries once more, can't get it done. He's going to try and tuck back underneath. You're not going to do it there. Can you get the switch back in RU1? No, you get close enough though through RU2, get a good exit. Close enough, not the best of exit, down towards the chicane. It's right onto the back of Michael Waversik now. Still not close enough. Yannick Pletcher here is still under investigation after serving his drive-through penalty. So needs to just concentrate on his race, concentrate on getting as much out of it as he can. Augustin Torlacci is now on the back of Roberto Miguez for some points here. So with Pletcher under investigation, Torlacci then could be gaining some more points. He's on the back of Miguez. They've both got 2 usages of push to pass. Is he going to look up the inside? Miguez covers that off. What about the switchback now? Oh, tries to get it done, but Miguez squeezed the gap shut. Torlacci has to fight another day. I'll tell you what, Miguez wants to watch himself here. That's a couple of manoeuvres there. He made his 2. He's allowed to come back in the braking zone because Torlacci wasn't alongside. Got to make sure he's not weaving to block here. Schlegel gets past Waversik now for Fabio Schlegel. Torlacci trying to get past Miguez. Joshua Hader out front has lost a time to Lorenzo. That gap's back up to 7/10. Valverde still 7/10 to Zarzo. This is the closest fight on circuit. Augustin Torlacci and Roberto Miguez here. As Torlacci gets very, very close then. It's still not close enough. And Doney, Bruce and Prax have all used push to pass. They're done. Ramsey and Nico Farland have 1 usage left, as does Adrian Gomez. So Torlachi now then, coming down the start straight, the back straight, on the back of Miguez. They both use push to pass. Torlachi must have used his a little later. Job done, stays left, so is Gomez still there? Yes, he is. Comes right back up the inside, not allowing his fellow driver in Madrid through. Great racing we've seen too. We've seen some good overtakes and some good comebacks here from drivers. Torlachi's got to do the hard work again. Valverde now within half a second of Borja Zazo. And Joshua Hader within half a second of his brother again. This fight though, Torlachi tries to tuck underneath, coming through the circle. Oh, bounced off the wall, did Miguez there. And around he goes. Me and Fabio spoke about that specific area in rush hour. And Miguez has got it horribly wrong. Donny's got past now for P11. Droninger gets past for P12. So Miguez from 10th to 13th at the moment. Heartbreaking stuff. He just bounced off the wall. We though go to the other two Madrid drivers now. Marcus Valverde and Borja Zazo then. This is for P5 and 6. And it's Valverde who looks the quicker car at the moment. Joshua Hader uses a push to pass. And he's within half a second of his brother. So Valverde and Zazo are going at it. Advantage in front. Valverde through the quick section, hard on the brakes. Tighter line than Zazo. He's just putting Zazo under a little bit of pressure here, and he's just managing to, or he's just making, should I say, Zazo start to think about defending a little harder. We're on though the final lap of the race. So it has flew by here, this race. And it's Farland from Lorenzo Hader, from Joshua Hader, from Yannick Pletcher, who is under investigation. This is for 5th and 6th. Zazo, the red, in front. Valverde, the one behind, who's going to try and switch back underneath. That gap is always closing, so he doesn't stick a nose where it doesn't belong. I've just been told that Pletcher is potentially facing disqualification for the jump start. So, interesting for Yannick Pletcher here, if that is to be the case. Oh, Valverde wide. That's not going to help his run and momentum through the corner. He's still on the back though of Borja Zazo, as they're now halfway through the lap. Valverde's got to think of making this move sooner rather than later. Every point's going to count for him in this championship, especially with Yannick under investigation. This means a lot for Valverde in terms of that championship gap. He just doesn't seem to be able to get the job done. Great defensive drive from Borja Zazo here at the very end. Fantastic to see. And they both don't have push to pass, and Valverde's possible best opportunity to use his push to pass has gone. Joshua Hader on the back of his brother once more. This gap is still close, and they're running it out of even time even faster as they're further up the order. But it's going to be Nico Farland who's going to come into the final couple of corners now. And he's going to take his first race win of the season. It is going to be a race win for Nico Farland. Job well done for him. Fantastic scenes, that more confetti at Munich, you'll love to see. You feel for the guy who's got to hoover it up. Lorenzo Hader crosses the line P2, Joshua Hader P3, Yannick Pletcher provisionally P4 in this one. Borja Zazo crosses the line for P5, so he manages to hang on from Valverde in 6th. Mohamed Ramsey, 7th place, good race for him, good recovery drive for him. Stanek P8, that is Mario Stanek P8. P9 looks like it's potentially, it just goes the way then of Adrian Gomez. And P10 then rounding out the P10 for Augustin Torlachi as Joshua Hader has parked the car up. It's me done for the day. We'll spin it round now, I think. There he goes. Donny from the back of the grid on his qualifying band P11. Walter Troninger P12. After he got demoted to by the back. Roberto Miguez after his spin down in 13th place. P14 for Andreas Koch from the back of the grid. 15th looks like it's going to go the way of Fabio Schlegel. Prax on his debut looks like it's going to be 16th for him. Waversick 17th at the moment. Gap's just a little bigger at the back. Proust 18th and 19th for Daniel Stanek. Don't forget, this is all a provisional result, so nothing is final. Although I think Nico Forland, in my opinion, has that one in the bag, because I didn't see anything wrong with his race. Well, Yannick Pletcher 4th, and he needed 4th or better in this race for if Nico Forland won to still have the championship lead. But is under investigation by Race Control. So it's going to be fascinating to see. As Proust comes to the line, that's P18 for him. And we just wait now, Daniel Stanek to cross the line, as well as there is our live camera crew in Keptol. P2, Lorenzo Hayder, very, very happy man with that one. Joshua Hayder, he's already took the gloves off. That must have been hard work. You can see the sweat on the face of Joshua Hayder there. Just how hard you have to work in these Racing Unleashed cockpits and simulators, and the focus, determination, the adrenaline that pumps through the body. But a good P2 and P3 for the Hayder brothers. That may make the car journey on the way home a little more interesting. So there we are in Kempthal, and I believe Lorenzo's trying to get his attention of his brother to say well done. Yeah, there he goes. I think he's still trying to get his attention here. Yeah. Thumbs up. Happy with that one. Superb job from the Hayder brothers. Superb job from Nico Forland. Your provisional podium then is Nico Forland. Lorenzo Hayder, then Joshua Hayder in this one so far. So good stuff from the boys there. That also means that we've had 5 winners in 5 races here in the Racer League. 6 if you count the prologue. Sorry, in the Race League. In the Challenger League, 6 if you count the prologue. And that also means that is Munich's first win in the Challenger League. So, Munich 2 wins on the bounce. Angelo Mikel, who obviously supports Nico Forland and sits in the background most week, and now Nico Forland with the wins. P1 from our Racing Unleashed representative there. So, we said it'd take some time. We knew that Munich had the drivers at their disposal to start to take some wins, and they start to now. So 5 winners in the championship in the Racer League. And there is the shots of Munich. Mohammed Ramsey, a hop, skip and a jump to come and congratulate Nico Forland. Great to see that. He had a good comeback drive in this race as well after an earlier moment. And he looks like he enjoyed that one as he puts his steering wheel back on, so we'll be able to talk to him at the end. But don't forget, provisional results as it stands at the moment. Nico Forland, race winner from Lorenzo Hayder and Joshua Hayder. We will bring you final confirmation in just a few moments' time, as we can welcome back Fabio. Fabio, what a race that was.
Yeah, what a race from the beginning, right? Very unexpected. Yannick there, definitely not his intention to start a race like that, right? And I know Yannick very well. It's not like he wanted to give himself unfair advantage. Maybe he just clipped the steering wheel or something popped up and he thought, oh no, it's race on. It can happen. It happened also to some other guys, Sebastian Hirsch, for example, last year in Silverstone, and Dave also in the Racer League. So it can happen. It happened, although very, very early, and this is what Race Control is looking at. Possibly too early, and he might be facing a disqualification.
This man, though, you called it. Nico Forland, come across the line, P1. It was your pick for the race winner.
Was my pick,
and he did it. Yeah. Did a little dance next to me there as you done it. As Race Control have said that P1, 2, 3 seem to be okay. Seem to be. So we're close to a decision. We're close to a decision, but seem to be okay. Nico Forland, Lorenzo Hayder, Joshua Hayder, 1, 2, and 3. 5 winners in 5 championship races. 6 in 6 if you count the prologue for the Challenger League. Saw nothing wrong with that from Nico Forland. Likes to flag victory. Well controlled.
Yeah. Nothing to add here. Very well done. Congrats to him. He's finally done it. Mr. Consistent.
Yeah.
Still, also well done to the Hayder brothers, not running into each other once again in the race. It's actually a triple German podium.
Yeah.
So it's all in German hands.
It is indeed, as I believe we can now speak with Joshua.
Yes.
And Joshua, P3 in the race. Very well done.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, P3 in the race. Yeah, I'm lost of words right now. I'm very happy for my brother in P2. First, congratulations to Nico Farland in P1. He has a great pace. Can't reach it. And it was quite difficult because I had to hunt my brother and to defend against Yannick behind me, and he was definitely faster than me. So yeah, I'm happy.
Very happy indeed. And that'll mean that a good family dinner to celebrate P2 and P3.
After the mistake in the qualifying, I think that's a nice finish now. And we had a funny drive home.
It will be a funny drive home. Good points in the championship as well for you, Joshua.
Yeah, okay. I mean, P3, and I don't know. Yeah, good points for the championship, but I think Yannick and Nico are so far away. I'm lost of words.
Well,
finish. I'm over.
We'll let you get your words back. We hope to speak to you in Monza. Best of luck next time out.
Congrats.
I hope he won.
Well, we'll let you get some rest, Joshua. Well done. Thumbs up there from Joshua. Lost for words. Very, very happy with his P3 and obviously very delighted for his brother as well.
Yeah, and it's a track that he is going well on. He won last year, so another podium this year. Yeah, possibly his favorite track at the moment. Awesome to see him back on the podium after that break last time round. They were actually attending a go-kart race, and I think they actually won it. Yeah, congrats to the Hayder brothers, and this is already the next one, Lorenzo. Well done.
Yep, well done indeed, Lorenzo. P2, that must feel really good.
Oh yes, mate, I'm back at the podium. I'm really happy about that. I mean, the last 3 races was very disappointing for me. I had really unluck every time, and I make too many mistakes. Yeah, but I say it to me every time: I never give up, come back stronger, and we will see what's happened at the next races. And yes, mate, I'm on P2 with my brother on P3. I'm really happy about that. I don't. Yes.
Lost for words like your brother.
Yes, mate.
You started in 6th to finish 2nd, so that's a really good race for you.
Yeah, I mean, at the qualifying I was on P1. I make a mistake with my brother, so 2 penalty grid, and another big mistake. So on P4, yeah, from P6 I don't think that I go to the podium, but yeah, I had a good start from the outside. 2 cars on the front for me had a mistake, and yes, and after that I was on P2. Yeah, but P1 was not in my pace. Nico Fallen was too strong. Congratulations here, Nico. You are well done, mate. Really strong pace, mate.
Well, congratulations today, Lorenzo. Fantastic job on
Thank
your
you so
P2.
much.
And enjoy it.
You know what would be funny here? They came in the same car.
Yeah.
Who's drinking some beers now, and who has to drive?
Depends how long the journey home is.
Not too sure.
They might both wait until they both get home so they can have a beer together.
Possibly.
Celebrate together.
Possibly.
We'll see how long the trip takes for them two to come home. But either way, it's a very good day for the Hayder brothers. It's a good day for Kemptol, double podium for them. Really good day. They'll absolutely enjoy that one, and especially with that little bit of an atmosphere on there at the Racing Lounge today. Double podium to celebrate things.
Yeah, they can take some food there because there's a lot of catering. So I hope the guys are eating and hungry. But well done to this guy here. I mean, look at his smile. I see it already behind there. Well done to Nico.
Yes, well done to Nico. Indeed, the change of simulator seems to have worked an absolute masterclass.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. It worked pretty good, I think. It's a good simulator. It wins the last race in Imola as well at the Racer League. Yeah, I'm pretty done for today, but I'm very, very happy that now the pace was there and won the race.
Won the race indeed, and it looked like you controlled the race because the gap never really changed between you and Lorenzo Hayder. It just looked like you was controlling your pace and managing it.
Yeah, I saw the gap, and I had in the last 5 laps every time I pushed the pass, so I knew if I do no mistakes, stay clean, it's going to be easy, and it worked out.
Obviously, Nico, your first win at the Zurich airport. Well done to that once again. My question to you is, at the start, there was someone currently in front of you in the championship, Yannick Pletcher, having a massive jump start. How distracting was it for you? Because a car was coming from behind and maybe you were not really knowing what was going on. Was it like, hugely distracting, or were you just focused on the lights?
First, I didn't know it was Yannick. I think that was someone who was having his first race, I don't know. But I didn't know it after the second lap. I saw that I'm P2. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I saw that Yannick is in P1, and I think like, okay, if he wants to fight like that, I'm in. But you have to go to the pit lane, so I don't know what his plan was, but it's not worked out.
It's race win number 1 for you this season. You've been Mr. Consistent all year. This really gives you a good boost in that championship.
Yeah, we're moving on. And I think that's the best season start we can get for the season. And let's see, we have 5 races to go. And if we consistently driving like that, we can win the championship.
Well, Nico, congratulations. Fantastic job today. Well done on the P1. And good luck in Monza next time out.
Thank you very much.
I want to point out that Nico just stated there. We had the Lucky Green simulator at Madrid that won for Torlacci and then for Valverde. Nico's just said that this simulator won for Angelo Michele in the Racer League last time out. So that's had back-to-back wins.
Yeah, it seems there is a little bit of a, I don't know how to call it in English.
Superstition?
Superstition for some simulators, but I mean, maybe just also a little bit of, chance that that simulator won again. But in the end, both of them, Angelo and Nico, today did a great job in defending in the front. They didn't do any mistakes. What else can you ask for?
Yeah, right? Exactly. And another thing to say on that as well is Nico has just been consistent all season. He's done this all season. Yep. It's just not been for the lead. Yep. Today you saw an absolute masterclass in terms of managing that gap to Lorenzo Hayder. He had that race under his own control.
Yeah, I agree with you there. With Yannick, we had some little, sometimes penalties also already this season. Not sure if Nico already had one. So he has been flawless. He has been on it. Not the race win, but obviously he got it today. Massive contender now for the championship. And we still don't know what's going to happen with Yannick. I'm still looking at the chat that I'm having with Race Control.
This is something I want to ask you now, Fabio. If he's still under investigation, 1, what penalty is he looking at? And 2, depending on that penalty, what will be the penalty points? Will that give Yannick an automatic knockout ban for the next race?
No. So the penalty that we're looking at the moment is he getting a disqualification or not? That's the only thing. There's no penalty points whatsoever involved because he has a disqualification of the race, so no points that he can score. This is the only thing we're looking at the moment. Race Control is still deciding, so we wait and see.
suppose race control are getting obviously all the other results out the way as possible and possibly leaving Yannick to the end with it being a jump start. There they are. They're the three men that have to decide everything here. And they have the hardest job at Racing Unleashed because I would not like to be in their shoes.
This is exactly the scene. That's the start there.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, you see Yannick. And before that, you saw the starting grid on the left. So they're still under massive discussions here.
Yeah, and they've even brought in a fourth to help out. Yeah. One thing this does mean is Yannick had to finish fifth or worst for Nico Farland to win the race and take the lead of this championship. If that's disqualification, not only is that 0 points against Nico Farland, that's 0 points against Torlacci, who only scored a few, but it's points. 0 points against Valverde. This is the jump start. This is Yannick Pletcher then on the start line. And
he's going backwards first. What happened there?
I wonder if we could rewind that a little bit, please. If it's possible to get another look.
Because he's going backwards.
Watch his gearbox. Oh no, we've changed view. I didn't see that drop into reverse there on his steering wheel.
Okay, so if our producer hears us, if we can have the onboard once again to see whether the car is going into reverse, that would be very interesting for us.
Now, what would that be? So here we go. We've got the onboard again. It stays in neutral.
It's interesting because the fingers were actually flipping. I have no idea. I don't really know what, maybe a glitch or something. Could be a technical issue. I don't know.
The fingers move to possibly state he's geared into reverse. Nothing comes up on his dash. And as you can see, it's flicking through the gears fine because we're up into 7th gear at the moment. So
it's a tricky bit. I think they're looking at it also from an IT standpoint of view, potentially. I've actually, during the live stream, I've counted how early Yannick was actually going. So he was approximately 8 to 9 seconds ahead of lights out. So that's a massive jump start. So
yeah, that's not even close where you've just mistimed it. That's
it's a tricky bit. I don't want to be in the
hard thing for Yannick is how bad will this affect his championship lead? Because if he doesn't finish, we know Nico Farland's going to take that lead. What's the gap?
No.
Because if this is a glitch and he loses his points, he's going to be very distraught at the fact he's possibly lost a lot. This is from the start line as well. This is Augustin Torlacci, who was P4. And this may have been what happened to him then at the start. We noticed that he down in 19th. Oh no, that's Yannick.
Is he going?
We may still get the race start. We've got 9 seconds to wait yet.
True.
From when Yannick moves. There we go. And as they approach turn 1, past the BP petrol station,
I think there will be contact between Ramsey and Torlacci because those were the guys falling back.
Ramsey had a spin, didn't he?
Exactly, and Torlacci was P19 at some point.
Yeah.
So there must have been something.
Joshua Hader dropped down the order because that's Joshua Hader there. Bit of a domino effect. Ramsey into the back of Torlacci, and then Ramsey got spun around himself.
Torlacci got stuck, so that's why he was at the end of the field. So very unfortunate for him there. And Ramsey also has 15 penalty points, and this is first lap.
And
I think that's a slam dunk knockout ban for Ramsey already.
Yeah,
because that was first lap.
So that'll be 10 points.
10 points.
Yeah.
25.
Well, Ramsey and Schlegel.
Or maybe he had did he have a clean race? Knockout, Ramsey. Do you know that?
No grid penalties.
So that's -2. That's 30. Still a knockout ban. Yeah.
Yeah, still a knockout ban.
Yeah.
Oh. To be in race control's position right now, they're the ones who make the tough decisions, and it really is a hard job being a race steward at race control and making sure every decision is the correct one. Another replay here. This is Adrian Gomez off the line as well, and he's on the outside. And as you can see, look, you can barely see where Nico Farland is in P1 here.
Is he also moving early?
Oh,
interesting.
There was a slight jump.
I mean, that was close. We have to agree on that. Yeah, that was closer than.
See, that's the thing is that's a drive-through. That's tight. It's close. Or are we looking at that?
I think we're looking at that.
Oh,
maybe the other thing maybe might have been through the game or something. Yeah. So we don't know that for sure. I mean, the system would actually report, so race control would know. But
we'd have seen him in to do a drive-through penalty if he'd have been.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's come through the circle down towards turn 1. Very wide berth. Okay. He's gone even wider. There's a car rejoining.
Oh, he had it all. He got pushed. He pushed someone. He spun. At one point, it seemed like he was actually touching all of the guys there.
There's a hard... Yeah, I see that differently. There's a hard decision there. He's 3 wide. Can't go any further inside as a car's rejoining. Lap 1, turn 1.
Yeah, but you saw the green car, actually on the inside on turn 1, pushing another car, and the other car was going into Gomez here. Yeah. And then he was actually having contact with the car coming from the outside, so yeah.
Not a lot Gomez could have done there, really.
Yeah, not his mistake, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I have to see it again. It's very tricky there.
The car rejoining.
Because after that, because it seems like he's actually already sliding and having sort of a spin, before he touches the red car.
For me, though, it's the car rejoining
that
I think's the problem, knowing it's lap 1, turn 1. Here is Prax then, who comes through the middle part of the lap. There's a car gone wide in front, straight across the road.
You can't do anything there. I mean, he could have gone through on the left-hand side, but this is...
He's already gone to the right, hasn't he? And these are the fine differences. Stanic just in front.
Yeah.
So now, race control are going to look at something here, I feel.
No, Stan is in the back, so he will have some issues getting out of the way, I believe, no? Or,
no.
He was the car, actually. Okay, he was the car spinning.
Right, so Stanic looks like on that onboard there that he does slow down after spinning through the gravel. So,
I mean, this could have been interesting for race control, because the car who was reversing was actually going back to the racing line.
Which was the first car who was hit. Here's Stanic again. So this then is on the rejoin of the spin he's just had. That is then Prax, who's just made contact with the car after reversing back.
So Prax is potentially facing an investigation for unsafe rejoin, right? Because now he just goes full throttle backwards now, and the other car has no chance. What's happening now?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was just that. Okay, yeah.
Talk about the first spin. Stanic loses the car. He clearly slows the car. Race control are going to look to see if he attempted to slow the car down. Prax is then committed to the inside.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate.
That'll be nothing.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Reverse back onto the track. Unsafe rejoin, in your opinion?
Slam dunk penalty. Yeah.
This is Schlegel then, Fabio Schlegel, and I believe this is Michael Waversick in front of him, and I think we caught this live on air as well. And this was one heck of a battle in this race. Schlegel and Waversick then. Schlegel gets the momentum, goes up the inside. We did catch this live on the air as well. So he's on to the outside now of the left-hander. Clearly behind. He's now going to look up the inside. Big slide. And we saw that one on air.
He loses the car, right?
No further out. It was the rear end steps out a little bit. If we look on board, just as he comes into the braking zone, there's the correction.
Yeah, he caught the car.
No further action.
Maybe the other one just at the wrong place once again. Do we know the results on that already?
Not sure at the minute. So he's gone behind Waversick here.
So he's behind.
Comes up the inside. Plenty of room. And, rear end steps out. He's had to make the correction. So surely, again, we spoke about this in rush hour earlier, surely you have to give a bit of benefit of the doubt to the driver of Schlegel there because he's had to make a correction.
He caught it well. I can't really have a 100% opinion whether it's a penalty or not. It's up to race control, fortunately. I don't have to make those decisions. What will you say?
No further action.
Yeah, okay.
No further
racing incident then.
There's enough of a gap. He is side by side, and he does have to make a correction, though. This is the confirmed podium. It will be Nico Farland who takes the race win from Lorenzo Hayder and Joshua Hayder. As Fabio said a moment ago, it's a German podium, but it is a Munich winner and 2 from Kemptol on there. We'll bring you the podium ceremony very shortly, as we'll have a very, very happy Kemptol and an even happier Munich Racing Lounge. That is your confirmed result. What a result that is. And now that it's confirmed, Nico Farland and the Hayder brothers can really now start to celebrate.
Yeah, and now I'm actually very interested in what's going to happen there in Kemptol. With 2 brothers on the podium.
2 brothers on the podium, the confetti from the balcony above. And there is our racing lounge.
Well done.
Supervisor P3 for Joshua Hayder. Fantastic there. As Roy presenting the medals then. A high five to his brother. And he's happy with that one. Both very, very happy. The silver medal and P2.
Where is that Hayder?
For Lorenzo Hayder. The selfies can happen now.
The selfies can happen now, exactly. Well done to Lorenzo and Joshua. Yeah, what a race.
What a race indeed. What a race indeed. Fantastic scenes then in the racing lounge in Kemptol. Great to see a good atmosphere once again. And brilliant to see 2 Kemptol drivers on the podium, 2nd and 3rd. Not the race wins that they'd have wanted, but you can take nothing away from Nico Farland today, who's about to receive his winner's medal. And this is about to be a fantastic moment. The more confetti, the gold confetti this time for your race winner, Nico Farland.
I think it's his girlfriend there, so well done.
Well done. And I believe we get the German national anthem now as well. So race winner, Nico Farland. I believe the podium ceremony there has come to an end, and an all too familiar national anthem from Sebastian Vettel and Michael Schumacher's winning days.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the Italian one, right? That was the combo. No, well done. Typical race driver position, right?
Yeah, hands behind his back.
Yeah, but must be a nice feeling, no?
Not broke his medal like the Formula One last week.
Yeah, but that was a trophy, a 40k trophy. Yeah, it's hard to actually damage medals, I believe. You can have some scissors, I don't know.
We'll see. The next Challenger League race, though, is September the 1st, and it is going to be at 7 p.m. here in Europe. It's going to be 6 p.m. for the UK viewers back at home. This is Monza. We are back for the Racer League tomorrow, though, where you'll find me and Fabio live. See you next time. Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.